Hello, welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today. And, well, this could be interesting. While I'm waiting for people to show, let me put the link in the chat here. I'll read from where we left off in the SMART handbook. Let's see here. Unless, of course, we do something else. Boy, I'm pale today. I don't know why. I thought I got enough sleep. Maybe I didn't. I am feeling a little tired. I don't know why. How's everybody else doing? How's everybody doing? Mm-hmm. Lordy. Hey.
Hey.
Kind of wanted Stasia to be here. I don't know if she's here for anyway.
I messaged her. She said she was going to be running a little bit late and she'd probably be in the chat for the first part of the meeting.
Okay.
So.
I want to apologize to you. You needed a meeting yesterday, and I allowed some second guessing of myself to get in there, and I want to apologize to you for that. Yeah. There she is.
Okay, I am going to have to go in the chat just for the first part. I was trying to get headphones working, and it's not working so good. Because now we have like two different sets going.
Real quick, while you're here, can you hear me?
Yes.
I want to apologize to you.
Why?
I didn't. Because I feel like I questioning the whole thing of whether or not we men should be hearing what we were talking about. I don't ever want to second guess you as a parent. You know, you're his mom. You're the mom, and he's your kid, and you know him, and you know what you're doing, and you know what you need to do. And I apologize.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for saying. I appreciate it, and honestly, I think we were all just kind of heightened yesterday. So I quite appreciate it. I'm just going to pop in the chat for this first part so I can listen to them on headphones. Okay. And then I will chat away in there. And then when it's safe, I'll jump back in. Okay.
Sounds great.
All right.
Could I take off the Bluetooth and then put it back on?
Yeah.
How are you doing today, Christy?
I am doing a little bit better after talking to you, but I do have some things that I want to address.
Okay.
So first of all, thank you for the apology. It wasn't necessary, but it was appreciated. And yes, I did need a meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
I've got a lot that I'm going to say, so I'm just going to start talking.
Okay.
And I'm not going to pay attention to any of the chat. So,
okay.
If somebody says something and I need to be aware of it, please tell me. But I do have the chat up on my computer. I did get my computer fixed, by the way, which the problem with that, funny enough, was my Wi-Fi button was off. I am disappointed, extremely disappointed, that anyone thought that I would put anyone into that kind of a position, because that shows me that I'm just disappointed. I feel like I have worked very hard to prove that I am a kind, caring person who the last thing that anything I would ever want to do is trigger someone or cause someone any kind of pain. For those of you that don't know, I am a mother of 8. I have 5 girls and 3 boys, and I have 6 grandbabies. And I know I don't look like my life experiences, and I know I don't look like my age. I was a single mom for a lot longer than I was a married mom. And I was a single mom who was on welfare because I couldn't feed my kids off of what I was making. And I was a single mom who was on Medicaid. And I was a single mom who lost my apartment because I couldn't pay the bills.
Mm.
But I was also a single mom who put myself through college and got a degree. And I was also a single mom who drove an Audi. I've been the mom that has received child support, and I've been the mom that has paid it on behalf of her spouse and lived in a tent because of it.
Yeah.
So it's very bothersome to me that someone would think that I would put a child in that position. That's really bothersome to me. One of my very strong boundaries that I have is how you speak to me. When someone says, well, Christy, actually it's called, that's my boundary, and that's when I leave. Because at that point, you've pissed all over it. Whether you've meant to or not, you have. I spent a lot of years in a toxic, narcissistic, codependent, extremely abusive relationship where I was going to unalive myself. And I'm just going to stop right here and I'm going to say there's going to be a bunch of trigger warnings. Okay. Most of what I help people do is leave abusive narcissistic relationships. In the last 3 days, one of my very best friends of over 30 years was going to unalive herself. And I spent 3 days on the phone convincing her that her life was worth living. To barely get through that, to have another person call me and say they were going to unalive themselves. And both people were very descriptive and very graphic to me about how it was going to happen. And I would love to share with you how that was, but I think that might trigger somebody, so I'm probably not going to. But those are hard things to hear. I get phone calls like I get from my cousin, who said that her boyfriend thought that she was hiding meth from him. And so he proceeded to beat her unconscious in a parking lot, not with his fist, with his foot to her head. And then I got those pictures. And I was the one there while she was in DV shelters, while she couldn't eat, and she had reconstructive surgery on her face, and she's got metal plates in her face.
Oh,
Listening to my cousin's children who are teenagers try to understand that. So you know what? When I need a meeting, no, it isn't going to be light. It's not going to be a meeting of, well, I felt like I needed a drink today. No, my meetings are, I had 2 people in 72 hours call me and say they wanted to unalive themselves. I'm stuck. And there's one thing I can say. I have been on the boat for a lot of months. I've been here for a lot of months. And unless you've just been under a rock, I don't understand how you could think that I was the kind of person who would intentionally trigger somebody, intentionally be disrespectful. That to me is the most disappointing part of it all. I spent the first few times that I was on here asking questions like, how does that make you feel and why? And asking those questions because I wasn't ready to share myself with you guys yet. And then I finally come on and I need a meeting. And this was a few meetings ago, and a bunch of stuff came out. And I felt a lot more confident in myself. You guys see me every day. I have makeup on. I have my hair done. I've got a sweater on. I always look good. When I show up and I'm in a sweatshirt or a flannel, something's probably not right.
yeah.
I don't talk about things that I don't know. And I don't talk about things that I don't know for a few reasons. One, it's not helpful for me to pull stuff out of my backside and spew it off to you. That's not going to help you. I wasn't talking about trauma bonding. What I was talking about was a codependent relationship. And the reason that I described the abuse was because that's how I help myself to process it, because I cannot begin to fathom that.
Yeah.
I can't. And that was really mild. And I have enough self-awareness not to get into anything too serious. Sometimes when I say things, it is for me, so that I can hear it out loud and feel that feeling. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that offended you or hurt you or triggered you. That's not what it meant. But in that moment, it wasn't about you. It was about me and needing a meeting. And it's really hard for me to come on here and talk about myself, because to me, it sounds kind of narcissistic, because I spent over a decade in that.
Yeah.
The difference between trauma bonding and a codependent relationship is trauma bonding is when two people bond over a similar trauma. A
Mhm.
lot of times it has to do with intimate relationships, but not always. And it's not really common that a parent and a child trauma bond. It can happen, but that's not the most common thing. Codependent relationships are something entirely different. Codependent relationships are when one person is completely dependent on another person and they get in each other's ways of being successful. That is a very common thing between parents and children. And in
Mm.
the instances of the two people who were going to unalive themselves, they both had toxic codependent relationships with narcissistic mothers. I was almost to the point that I was trying to make, which would have helped Stasia understand the situation with her father. And honestly, it would have helped me and given me a little bit of a meeting that I needed. I said I had 8 kids. My son has not spoken to me in 5 years, and I don't know why. I've reached out to him. I've tried to understand. I really don't know. I can't get an answer.
Mm.
So I reach out to him every month, to him personally, not through someone else, to him personally. And I say, sweetie, it's Mom. Just want you to know that I love you and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the person that you've become. You're an amazing man with a great career ahead of you. And I'm so happy for you. And I don't know what I did, and I don't know why you stopped talking to me. But I want you to know that I'm here. And if there's ever anything that I can explain to you, I will. I haven't gotten a response. I don't know what it is. I had a child who did cocaine for a while, and I didn't know about it until I got a call. Fortunately, it wasn't so long that, it was really, a horrible thing. For her, it's more recreational, I think, just kind of like a social thing. But we got her help. She's fine now.
Good.
I have one daughter that's a complete disaster. Whew. I am so hurt and I am so disappointed that anyone thought that I would do that. So my firm boundary is you don't talk to me that way. My husband doesn't do it. My kids don't do it. My neighbors don't do it. And when that boundary gets crossed for me, I excuse myself. I have gone so, I am so mindful about everyone here.
Yeah.
I don't crack open my can. This is what I drink. It's a can of water. It's water in a can, and I drink it because it stays colder and it has a little bit of carbonation to it. I don't ever crack that open on air. You know why? Because Carol read a sentence in the Smart Recovery book that said hearing a can crack open could cause you to want to drink. So I will never crack that can open on the air. It is always open before I get on air. You will never see that can in a koozie because it didn't even dawn on me that that could make someone want to drink. Do you want to know why I drink it out of a can and not out of a glass? It's because all the glasses I have in my house, which by the way are 4, is a wine glass, a beer stern, a champagne flute, and a little bourbon glass. And I am damn sure not drinking my water out of that. You will never see me drink anything out of a red Solo cup. One of my favorite t-shirts says pothead on it, and it has a picture of a coffee pot. But you will never see me wear that on here because I don't want to traumatize or trigger someone who might be dealing with a weed thing. That is how much I care about you all. I would rather leave a meeting and have somebody who needs to be here stay so they can get sober, stay sober, have a meeting, whatever. And you know what was going through my head before I got on yesterday? I warned you all I was sharp. I told you right from the start. I almost didn't get on the meeting yesterday. And honestly, I almost didn't come back today. The reason I almost didn't get on the meeting yesterday was because I had been told for years that I was too much, that my anger was too much, that nobody wanted to hear it. And usually I give in to those voices in my head. And yesterday was the first time that I said, you know what? F you. These people understand me. I'm getting on. 15 minutes in, I literally said, you know what? I think I'm too much.
Mm.
Now, you guys wouldn't have known that because I didn't necessarily need to share that with you. I don't do a lot of explaining. I don't do a lot of justifying. I did decades of that. But I couldn't come on and talk about this on Christmas Eve, which would be the next time I would be available to be on here because that would just suck. And the moment is now. You know, I'm not just a person who just sits in this room with these pretty windows and the pretty trees and drinks coffee out of a mug that's as big as my head. Do you know why my coffee mugs are as big as my head, by the way? Because look, when I put them up here, you can't see my reaction. I work really hard to have a poker face so that I don't make someone feel bad about sharing their experience. Because it matters to me that you have a safe place to come. And it's not okay to be condescending to somebody, and it's not okay to make somebody feel questioned. And yesterday, both of those things happened, and I do not think that it was intentional by any means. But think how it sounds. When you have the leader of the meeting questioning her ability to run a meeting, and Stasia said, you know, I'm fine with what we were talking about, but now I'm self-conscious about should he be here? You caused a mother to question her ability to parent. And as a mother, I don't like that. And it just pissed me off. Those aren't okay. To say, well, actually, it's called, is a very condescending way to speak to someone. A better way to phrase that would be, are you talking about trauma bonding? And if you're not sure how something sounds, say it to yourself out loud before you just put it on the screen.
A Rolling Stone says, I don't deserve this. And maybe, yeah. What do you think?
I think these are my feelings. And I think I'm valid to share my feelings,
I would,
just as Rolling Stone would be valid to share her feelings. And I think if there is an issue, then maybe look a little deeper. If you're feeling triggered, feel free to hop off and you can hop back on anytime. I understand that you're early in your recovery. You're 3 days in. But just as much as you have a right to be here, so do I. That's what I think about that.
all right. Okay. I'm going to put it up here. Is this the one you're talking about, Rolling Stone? Let me know.
I did. So I think the way things get said is really important. And my big thing is not only how it was said, but the fact that it was said. Stasia is an amazing mom.
Yeah.
And she is going through a lot right now. She is going through a custody battle.
Yeah.
With her ex, who is also her abuser and the abuser of her child. She is fighting for the right to leave a state that she doesn't want to be in.
Well, and that she can't speak the language. She is,
right.
There's a language barrier in the state she's in.
Yes.
Oh.
She just experienced her first overnight with her son going to
before you leave, Rolling Stone, I wanted to read this. I said what I did as an alert to young ears who were listening. Nothing was meant by that except that. I explained that yesterday repeatedly. I apologize again. I didn't know whether you knew that.
There's a lot that Stasia is going through right now. And the last thing that she needs is to have her parenting abilities called into question. And I think we just all need to be mindful. And you know what? This is messy. Recovery is messy.
Yeah.
And stop and think about what you say. That's all it is. Stop and think about what you say.
I want to give everybody a chance to just own their own feelings. It's a kind of almost a fine line, you know. I want everybody to own their own things and not to point to or criticize what somebody else is sharing of, you know, or whatever somebody else is needing. And that's the number one thing I ask always. Anyway. Hello.
So, are you frozen?
Rolling Stone did not question. I did not question her parenting skills. Oh, okay.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want Rolling Stone to know I did see everything yesterday as well. And I think that at the same time, Christine's valid for the feelings and to be able to say her things as well. Hello. You know, he has been through a lot. He has had so many of her own battles. And as much as he doesn't want to trigger other people, things could trigger her by the way that they're said, by how they're brought up. And I think that we all can work in our everyday life to be more mindful. So
True.
I don't want her to see, I don't want
nobody's going to do this perfectly.
Exactly.
Nobody's going to, you know, be, you know, on their best. That's that's kind of what this is about. I need a meeting because I'm not doing too good, or maybe I'm doing too good and I'm in danger of a lapse potentially.
Exactly. So
how are you, Rebecca?
I am good. I knew based on what I'd seen you guys do that this was possible to join in and have people actually see your face, because I think it's always better to see somebody's face. I don't know. I guess it makes it feel like more of a connection. So I just thought I finished work a little early. I thought I'd join.
I'm glad you did. Thank
Glad
you for
you're
being
here.
here.
Yeah.
Glad you're.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that's all I have to say. And everybody has a right to have a meeting, and everybody has a right to say what they're feeling, and everybody has a right to be heard.
Yeah.
So
He's decided he's on the floor right beside me because it's pretty lady time. And so he's literally laying on the floor right now, just kind of looking up every so often.
that's so
Just-
cute. I like the
I-
pretty lady time.
And I interrupted you a minute ago, Stasi. I apologize.
Sorry?
I interrupted you a little bit ago.
It's okay. I was just trying to probably overextend. The ADHD has kicked in. I forget now what it was being said. It was probably just, I don't want anybody to feel judged. I don't want anybody to feel hated, but we're human. This is going to happen. We all just need to work on it. And not only that, I know that there's certain things that I have said that can be said better. You know what I mean? So I at least want to be able to say we can all work on that. It's not appointed, like the situation, yes, it is pointed for the situation, but everybody can work on it. This isn't just a one person thing in the group. I think we all can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we should all be able to come out and say things too. Now,
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to be shaking like a leaf and
I don't want anybody to feel censured. You know, hello, seventh son. That's very important to me, that nobody feels censured, you know, but we're going to have a few of these. It's going to happen. How do you get people in recovery from all the different things that we're all in recovery from? Me, you know, 30 years ago, drugs and alcohol, choosing a cult to recover, which is not recovery. You know, somebody else having coming out of a narcissistic abusive relationship as an eating disorder, you know, taking over their life, you know, somebody, you know, we're a big mixed bag here.
yeah. And I think you have to be able to point out the behavior that can be changed, and to be able to point it out. You can't change what you don't know. You can't change it. If nobody ever points it out to you, how can you make it better?
Okay. Rolling Stone says, Christine was saying the girl was tied to a bed for 12 hours. I did
That's
not
not
know.
actually what I said.
Anyway, I did not know how much worse it was going to get. And you have not had a long time to get to know us, and you know, and so I get that. I get that you couldn't know, but I was not sensing that it was going to go down a path that was going to be dark. So maybe let us have a chance to say what we need to say, and then judge, and then make a decision, and let moms make a decision as to, you know, whether or not they need to mute or do whatever they need to do. Let us be in charge of ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And the reason that I said that, and it wasn't a girl and it wasn't 12 hours, but the reason that I said that was because that was something I need to process for myself, because I did not have that kind of childhood. For those of you that don't know, I don't have drug addiction problems. I don't have alcohol addiction problems. I was married to a narcissist for over a decade, and I was abused in a lot of different ways. I had an eating disorder for 30 years. I've been homeless. There's a lot of things that I've been. There's a lot of parts of my story. And I promise you, I am self-aware enough not to go anywhere too dark. Not here.
Yeah.
What
I
I deal with is bigger. And what I deal with is just a bigger scope of things. I'm not the person getting the phone call. Hey, I'm about to drink a beer or use that. Those calls don't come to me, and it's probably a good thing they don't, because I wouldn't really know what to do. But the calls, I'm depressed. I this, I that, I that those are the ones I get.
Yeah. How is your friend?
Better. She had a meeting with her therapist and is back on medication and is just doing really good in that
Okay.
sense. Had
Okay.
an emergency therapy session, got her in the insurance all sorted out, which was a total disaster. Is still struggling with the holidays and struggles with this seasonal depression. But considering where she was 3 days ago, well, no, it wasn't even 3 days ago. Um, she's here.
Good.
She's here.
As
So
long
is
as
the
we're
other
fogging up
one.
the mirror, there's always hope. I heard someone say once.
Yeah. I was just thankful. And here's the other thing that made me feel bad. I did not know she had just moved. So I did not know her address, didn't know her phone number, didn't know the make and model of her car, didn't know her license plate, didn't know where she worked. I couldn't send for a welfare check even if I wanted to, because I didn't have any of that. You want to talk about feeling a helpless position? Imagine somebody saying that they want to do that, and you're 2 time zones and 1,200 miles away from that person, and you can't even send anybody to go check on them because you don't even know where to send them. Talk about feeling helpless. That's an awful feeling. Needless to say, now I have the phone number and the address and all of the information. I was not getting off the phone without that information.
Gonna say you're not the type of person to be like, okay, yeah, bye.
That's why I hopped off of here a couple different times. I was like, gotta go, and was gone. And there was one time where it was just, hey, so and so's in crisis. I'm not going to be on today.
Yeah.
Because if it's just a matter of me being there to have someone, talk to get them through those days. Did I think it was going to look like this? No, I didn't.
Whew.
So I for those that are new, I would truly never attack someone. This is as mad as you will probably ever see me. And this isn't hobbit rage. This is like mom anger right here. This is I'm disappointed. But this is about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important that everybody's here. And I think it's important that everybody feels safe. And everybody includes me, and it includes
Yeah.
Carol.
Yeah.
It includes everyone.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to have those moments where you sit down and you say, you know what? I don't like what you did. Doesn't mean that I don't like you as a person. It doesn't mean you're a horrible person. It doesn't mean I want anything bad to happen. How else do you work through a problem unless you sit down and you're honest? And what I know to be true is that can be really difficult if you've been medicating yourself or hiding behind an eating disorder. So,
I'm grateful that you shared, because I was worried and concerned. But then again, I was reaching out throughout some of the weekend as well when I knew some of your personal stuff was happening. So I was just like, I don't know what's happening exactly, but I'm like, I need to make sure people are okay. And Carol, if I can send you my contact information, and Rolling Stone, if you're still listening, I'm gonna ask you to email Carol as well. That way we can get in contact personally. That way I can let you know one-on-one. I can't type in the chat right now because I just have my phone, but also that way I can let you know one-on-one. The way that I reacted to it as well, that was my own thing. I'm leaving what I believe to be a narcissist. Like
Yeah.
and honestly, I'm still working through some of those things, and things have not hit me like a ton of bricks yet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have these little things, and I want to make sure that you understand I'm not personally having an issue, and I would love to be able to talk to you one-on-one as well. And if this is going to be, it's going to be easier for me to contact you this way, because talking back and forth on the camera, waiting for a reply, it can get difficult, and just for me and my ADHD. So if you can please reach out to Carol, and after stream, I will send her all of my contact information, that we can get in contact as well. But hi, Rebecca.
How are
Glad
you
you
today?
showed up, aren't you?
What did you say?
So glad you showed up.
Well, I want to share the love, and I hope everybody's okay.
I hope
And
so
I
too.
wasn't here for the other, what had happened before, and I just want everybody to be okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's,
And
but
I think that no matter what, as a group of people, we can work through it. As long as we're able to be open and honest with one another, we can work through it.
I just made the same decision this morning, says Anik. The only way to get past miscommunication and misunderstanding is direct, honest, open communication. And sometimes that's hard, and sometimes it doesn't feel good in the thick of it. But it still doesn't mean that we just walk away from it, and that we walk away from each other.
right.
You know?
Right.
But
Right.
how are you doing, Rebecca, all in all? How are you feeling and everything?
I'm doing okay. It's the day started and I was a little concerned because for work it was about to become a really stressful day. Lots of appointments, lots of meetings. I started at 7:00.
Oh,
I'm on COVID, so I tend to fade as the day goes on.
Yeah.
But a bunch of people, I had 2 cancellations, or was it 3? It ended up being less stress than I thought it was going to be. My appointment, I think this was maybe meant to be, because my appointment that I had that was started at 3:30, it ended up the problem fixed itself, so they didn't need my computer support, because that's what I do. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can join. And then I saw the link and I'm like, oh, that's how they do it. Because
Yeah.
I've seen people join before and I didn't know how it all worked.
And I just want to acknowledge, Penny, yes, we can agree to disagree and still be loving and supportive.
There's actually a channel, Hogue Law, and his mentality or his statement is reasonable minds can disagree.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and I honestly, since I started listening to him, that was something that I did not do so well. And then I started getting better at it. I was like, I want to apply that mentality.
I just want to say hi, Lene. I'm so glad you're here.
Yes, Lene.
Ben, hello.
I didn't say hello. I'm sorry. Hello.
Yeah. Yes. But, well, good. So, Rebecca, tell us a little bit about yourself. We've seen you show up, but this is the first time we get to chat with you. Share a little bit about you so we can know.
I guess to try to consolidate it, I was born and raised in a cult.
Okay.
I usually don't talk about it to some degree because I feel like I kind of explain it like walking the blade of a knife, because I have not, if you want, I usually don't say what organization I was raised in.
Okay.
It's religion, of course.
That's fine.
Because I still have contact. They haven't completely cut me off, but they shun. And I'm not ready to lose my mom and my sister. And it kills me sometimes because I'm 52 and I still don't want to lose my mom and my sister, less my brother, but that because it isn't who I am. It isn't
Yeah.
authentic.
Mm-hmm.
So I struggle with that. And there's trauma that comes with
Oh,
being
yeah.
born in a cult, being neurodivergent. I'm a
Okay.
first gen college student. There's my dad. I refer to as he bought a wife, but I don't know that that's necessarily fair.
Okay.
But he went to the Philippines and married somebody my younger sister's age
Okay. Ooh.
and had a child. And so there's a lot of abuse was from him. Some of it from my mom too, but from him. And so there's some unfinished stuff. Am I saying
Yeah.
there's lots of unfinished stuff? I see a therapist every week.
Good for you.
Thankfully.
Do you find that helpful?
I do. I've been seeing the same person for, God, it's got to be over 5 years now. Right now, we're working more on coping skills because long COVID is still there and it's been a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I just moved and there's just lots of stuff going on. I have to take my landlady to court because she didn't give me my deposit, but she threatened in the letter saying she wasn't going to give it to me to take me to court, which she hasn't done. I moved 4 months ago, but it was next to the highway. She smoked pot in the building. I didn't care about people who smoked pot before, but now my lungs are damaged permanently and I
Oh,
can't do that.
yeah.
I can't be around that. And it wasn't well insulated. So it was coming into my apartment every day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's lots of stuff that aren't great.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate the connection because it's hard for me to go out and do stuff because
Yeah.
I'm very immunocompromised. So I'm afraid of going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I can understand that. Yeah.
but I have my own little sets of addiction. I'm not addicted to drugs that aren't prescription. I'm addicted to my antidepressants, let's be honest. I'm a little addicted to those. Anti-anxiety drugs, I'm a little addicted to those. And I don't have an alcohol issue, but I am addicted to fabric and the dopamine high of shopping for my fabric and touching my fabric.
Okay.
And the buying stuff portion because it makes me feel good.
Do you like make quilts or something?
I
Or do you
do.
just buy the fabric?
Well, here's one. It's
That's
really easy,
beautiful.
but
That's amazing.
with the
Oh, wow.
I
it's
did
like
not
this
do that.
fabric.
That's beautiful.
Just really bright and cheerful. So, which is why I made it.
Right.
But yeah, I sew that, and I was working on Christmas gifts, so I made kitchen towels for my chosen family. So I'm not really close to my biological, but I have chosen family. So it's been a long time. So it's the parents of one of my closest girlfriends who's also the wife of my first boyfriend's twin brother.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know that my ex would kind of understand why I'm hanging out with his sister-in-law's family. I don't know that he gets that, but yeah, he's a good guy. Just we weren't meant to be together. So yeah,
that happens.
I'm single and I have a cat. So if DJ shows up, I'll show you guys.
Right on.
Right.
Just got her 2 months ago. She's a little fluffy.
I love it.
A little chunker, but we're a little bit. So yeah,
I can relate to that. We just didn't work in a relationship thing. That's me and my first major I only have 2 significant relationships in my life, and the first one is in the chat right now, and he's my best friend.
awesome.
So I can relate to that, but it's no judgment, obviously, with this group. But hey, if you ever need to talk about that specifically, I get it.
Now, how do you talk to your mom and your sister if where you came from practice shunning? Do they call you? Do they have to sneak off to call you? Do you send letters?
No, I've never, and this is probably the closest I've come to outing myself.
Okay.
because people potentially watch and they will see this and recognize
Oh,
me.
Okay.
okay.
Potentially.
Okay.
But we just don't talk religion. And I don't tell them that I think they're in a cult. And I don't share a lot of things. I don't talk about stuff that would be problematic. And then if I'm asked to go with them to somewhere, I'm like, no, I won't go. I support you going, but I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Okay.
So,
That's
Okay.
a healthy way to handle that.
Yeah.
because I love them and I would do almost anything for them, but I know their love is conditional.
Yeah.
And I struggle with that, knowing that, yet still wanting them there and still being kind of careful what I do. And my therapist said, she's like, I don't think they want to lose you either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because potentially there are things they could go, oh yeah, you're doing that and you're doing that. And, things that they could use. And potentially just by talking about it here could cause it too. But yeah, it's
I-
kind of a little brave for me being here because I don't normally do this. So
Well, I'm so glad you
Congratulations
did.
on
I
being brave.
don't out my cult, the cult that I came out of, for the very same reason. There are people that I'm very close to that, really and truly became family, as much as you can in a cult.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I never want to do anything that is disrespectful of
Mhm.
their true to heart beliefs, because they
Yep.
wouldn't be in a cult without that,
Right.
Right.
So I get it. I get that. I do.
And I'm thankful my mom did a lot to bring me up to be the kind of person that I like most days. Because I have, what's the word I'm looking for? I have self-worth issues and I have imposter syndrome and a lot of other things. And, not feeling like I'm good enough. The tapes are there that I'm not good enough. And I've been struggling with that tape. And some days are better than others, but that's still there. And
Yeah.
I still don't believe that I am.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's something that they systematically break down in people. And you didn't get a choice as a kid.
right.
You
Right.
didn't get a foundation underneath you to get to experience anything else.
Right.
Right.
It's not the
Well,
truth, but you don't know that at the time.
Right. And my mom at one point, and I'm thankful she said this because it did. Sorry, I feel like I have a kitty fur on my face. Like, in case you wonder what, like I'm brushing
No,
up my
you're-
face, or I feel like there's a hair there.
you're-
But my mom, one time I tend to apparently be a little tenacious when I was trying to do stuff. And my mom said that she thought I was being prideful. And that's a bad thing in her opinion. So I was being prideful. So she was trying to take me down a notch. And
Mhm.
so one time I said that I thought she was trying to break me. And when she brought that up later, because I'd said that, I don't know, decade ago. And I said later when she brought it up, I said, yeah, because you were trying to break me.
Yeah.
And that's when she explained that she thought I was being prideful.
Mm.
And I ended up replying, I thought I was never good enough. I'm trying to do what I'm supposed to do. And I did. I did a lot of things because my mom wanted it. It was what was expected of me, not because I felt like it was right for me or
Yeah.
that I thought it was, but it was what was expected. And so I did what was expected because I in many ways, didn't know any better.
That's right.
Right.
And so, and I'm still
Religion
trying
is
to
so
figure me out.
hard.
Yeah.
Religion is so hard for women, I think, because there's just a different way that it's approached, and depending on where you were, where I live, I work. Well, the job that I had before was a sales job, and I worked with a lot of Amish and Mennonite men
Yep.
who bought metal from me,
Yep.
and I had never experienced that. And it was very interesting to learn what it was like to be a woman to deal with the men in those particular situations, because one of them didn't think I should have a job, and the other one just, really was like, yeah, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I know that. But this one guy, like my coworker went on vacation, and he literally was like, is there anyone else? And I'm like, no, not for the next week. But we can get through this. So, and I can see even in those types of things where it just is more difficult in some situations because of how, I grew up Baptist, and how we were raised and what we were taught was appropriate and acceptable. And then you kind of get to this point in your life where you look at, well, is it really, do I believe it because I believe it, or do I believe it because I was taught it? And then it's almost like when you start questioning it, then it's a whole other thing, because then you sort of feel really bad that you were ever even questioning this thing that you were born into. And then you have to sort out for yourself what that looks like. And then there's that issue of, especially if you leave and you go the whole other way, I think not talking about religion is really smart on your part, because it can't create that divide. It's already like shaky enough that you're not doing anything to kind of create that divide. And I'm not sure what you can come back. I bet I can guess what you came out of, but I won't. But to do that
You
is,
can do it off off the show. You can tell me. And it's entirely possible because it's mainstream enough that people think it's not, but it's what happens to you if you leave. It's what happens to you if you don't want to do exactly what it's the bite model that
yes.
Stephen Hassan talks about, or Hassan, I think it's maybe how it's
Hassan, yeah.
Well, and I know Carol has shared a lot of her just trauma, just unraveling that.
Yeah.
And when you're unraveling a core belief about yourself, because it does become who you define yourself as. I define myself as I am this, I'm short. That's how I define myself. Now that's a fact, it's not going to change. But, when you start re-examining how you define yourself, I think it's scary. Do you watch any of the SPTV at all, or anything like that?
Because it helps me process some of the other stuff, because it's not,
Yeah.
I wasn't raised in Scientology, but it helps me process some of that. Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't do it
Yeah.
every day.
Sure.
And it's, I used to watch more of the X of the group I was part of before. And, sometimes, actually, frankly, Aaron, though I hate that whole clip in the beginning, actually, I love his energy. And so it's easy to kind of watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do.
Now,
I want them to get out of that and have a life that's better than what they had. So,
Yeah.
so now, can I ask you, and you don't have to answer because, nobody has to share anything they don't want to. What did it look like for you when you left? Was it just one day you're like, you know what? This is it. I mean, I know it's a slow burn to get to that. It's not like one day you wake up and you're like, I'm done. I know that it's a slow burn, but
I'm considered a fader. And in some ways I fell through the cracks because I moved in with my father, and my dad was atheist. And so I kind of walked away, and he was abusive, and there was lots of really bad things that came out of that. But my dad lived in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, which is where I live. I live in Minnesota still. And it got me to a different high school. It got my high school counselor, who was she was an amazing woman. She helped get me into college. By getting me into college, I got my degree, a 4-year degree, not just because education is also something that's not advocated. And education made me think and question things. And my senior year in high school, one of my English teachers asked us to kind of read between the lines in this really short little newspaper article. I didn't know how to think. I didn't know how to read between the lines, and that was the first time I'd been asked.
And that's part of neurodivergency too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just had tests done. So I might have some ADHD. I've already got depression and anxiety. My therapist she thinks it's probably a lot of the depression and anxiety is trauma
Yeah.
and not actually as much that's actually kind of depression, anxiety. There is the whole, but it's just maybe more so all the trauma.
Yeah.
Because there is. Just being real.
I've heard people people who study these things neurologically that you almost can't tell the difference between ADHD and trauma sometimes.
Right. That's what my therapist has told me too.
Yeah.
And we don't know. And I did the test because one of my friends has ADHD. She was diagnosed, and we're very similar.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't hurt even if I came out where no, but the long COVID still has, and we don't know how much of it's long COVID, how much of it's a little ADHD, but I'm still in kind of lower brain levels where my ability to learn new things is harder. My brain doesn't work the same as it did pre-COVID.
Okay.
And that's a struggle. I'm able to do my job because I remember some stuff, and I am allowed to do some easier stuff, and I have a great team, but I'm not at this point trying to do any more than what I do.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do my job well so that they keep me,
Yeah.
but I'm not trying to, and I don't know why my light keeps blinking. That was kind of weird. At this point, I kind of feel like I'm coasting. But right now health is a bigger priority. I put extra weight on because I was eating crap because I wasn't cook. I live by myself. And so I'm really glad to get a cat. I needed a cat before, but couldn't get one in my old place. So,
Right.
yeah, and I completely lost my thought. Whatever the point was about that whole rambling thing I just did. Sorry.
You were just saying
probably
that,
come back around.
yeah, you were just saying that you were in the lower brain function because of the long COVID, and still, you've got a good team around you and wanting to work, really well.
And I'm going back into occupational therapy too. So we can see if there's some new coping stuff. I'm very fortunate because I have healthcare. I've got some resources that I'm very thankful for that. So, and I'm glad for you guys because there's connection. So even if I don't get here when you start, because I technically normally work until 4 Central Time, and you guys start at 3:40. But yeah, it's great to see you all
today. Yes, we're so glad that you hopped on. I love it when people hop on. When I can see people's faces or hear their voices, then I can hear them in the comments, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah,
Assigned voice here. Yeah.
And I was gonna say, and it's Christy, right? Above me on the picture.
Yes.
I was gonna say you were saying that you didn't look good earlier. And I'm like, yeah, okay, so you look like maybe you didn't put lipstick on. I haven't worn lipstick in 2 years. You still look great. You look a little bit more casual than we're used to seeing you. But don't put yourself out and say you don't look good. Just me getting a little bit on my soapbox.
We all have those things. I have things that have stuck with me that are probably never gonna leave. That were surrounding things. Even things to do with my ex still affect my husband currently. Things that were said to me a long time ago, I still have a hard time with. And it's just interesting.
Mikey?
Yeah, I try to leave the door open so he can see outside, but then he sees the cat or the leaf blowing because that leaf could come in and eat me at any time, and he has to protect the mama because
No, it's a Chinese dragon in disguise. It's a Chinese dragon in disguise. He's trying to save you.
And here's the funny thing is he's so sweet. I was talking to Carol earlier, and he was just licking my face, and I'm trying to light my fireplace, and he's just like, Mom, and I'm like, slow down. But if you see me looking over here, I'm not ignoring you. This is where my chat's at, and I'm trying to kind of see that. Oh, hello. Yes, I hear you. I hear you. Protected the mama. Your sister. Go lay down and be a beautiful guy. Where's your bone? Where's your bone?
I'm so glad I'm not the only one who kind of uses. And I don't think of it so much as baby talk, but you kind of go that up a little bit of an octave. I'm glad I'm not the only one who does that to my pet.
Oh no. Yeah, I do. It's hilarious. You should hear me talk to my cat.
Actually, I was just thinking I could show you a picture of my cat. She's not out here. She's probably sleeping still. But this is DJ enjoying the blanket.
Oh, hello, kitty. Aw.
Beautiful. Yes.
Pretty kitty.
She's
I
gorgeous.
just wanted to say, Ben, the sky, isn't that beautiful? Like, that's really what it looks like. And if you're looking out my front door, it's this beautiful, like, pink, just kind of over the horizon, you know, like, because I live on a lake. So as it's kind of dropping down into the lake, it's got these beautiful pink hues. It's really, this is my favorite room in my house. And I love the windows. Like, I think they're fun. When the spring comes and the cherry blossom trees blossom, it'll all be pink. And then in the fall, it's really beautiful. It almost looks like stained glass in the fall.
Wow.
Can I ask what state you live in?
Yeah, I live in Kentucky.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I live in Kentucky. I'm a Southerner. Well, I'm a transplant Southerner. I'm not a good Southerner. I'm the one that they don't ask to bring anything to the family dinner except what I want to drink. Little suspect.
Because you don't do the Southern cooking, or do you not cook? I don't know.
No. So no, I don't do any of the Southern cooking because I can be a good cook sometimes. I cannot bake anything. Like, forget that. Even the refrigerated cookie dough.
Baking is science, so you've got to follow the recipe.
Yeah.
Cooking, though, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. That's true. That's as a rule. Yeah.
This is how bad I am. I bought some of the, like, one of those logs of refrigerated cookie dough that you just cut into chunks.
Yep.
Those things were paper thin. I don't know why baking hates me so much, but it's just like, no, you can't do this. Cooking isn't too bad, but my aunt is a full-on Southern her whole life, makes the best food you've ever eaten, and I'm just like, well,
And awakened, yes, I loved the butter in my cooking.
oh yeah.
That you just don't eat as much.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, Christy, you will be better at something else. There's always something that one of us is really good at. So baking isn't your thing. That's cool. I'm
No.
sure you have something else you're amazing at.
I'm really good at creative stuff, and making stuff and that kind of thing. But yeah, no, I'm not the. I can't even sew a button onto a dress. So I get really amazed when people can make quilts because
I
I'm
was
like,
gonna say I can teach you to sew a button on. We could do that over Zoom. It's really easy.
you know, I intentionally don't buy a lot of things with buttons because I know if they pop off, I'm like, well, that's done.
It's okay.
Yeah, you know, my husband altered a dress for me once. Like he bought this dress that was too big, and he's like, I can alter it for you, and I'm like, he's like, yeah.
What?
He altered it. I was like, how do you know how to do this? He's like, I know all kinds of things, and I'm like, all right, well, thank you.
I have jokingly said in a past life I was maybe somebody on the frontier that knew how to, because we were raised really poor, and so I know how to can, and we had a huge garden, and so I get what all of that, doing all of that stuff, and cooking and baking and sewing, I can do all of that.
Hey,
Actually, I was thinking on male-dominated fields and the stuff, I work in IT. And if you ask women in IT what life is like, and now that I think about it, I maybe chose the wrong field, because women get tons of crap in IT. And I have been harassed and sexually harassed and all of the things, because it's a male dominated field. It's not so male dominated anymore. But when I
Right.
first got into it, yeah, it was. But
Yeah.
I kind of think, I try to think of it as I've paved the way. I survived and I paved the way so other women, there's a
Right
lot more
on.
women in this field.
Right
No,
on.
I'm trying to look at my field right now. It's like, okay, well, the province that I'm in is going to be a little bit harder just because the language barrier and the qualifications. But once I get back home, they have like a women's in trades program, and I'm going to either try and get an electrical apprenticeship or right into my field, which is basically wiring and programming all the computers that run a factory. There's not many women doing that. Yeah.
Yep. That's awesome.
But yeah, so you might get messages from me going, okay, you got this IT thing down, now I need help.
I'm happy to help. Friday actually worked because my work is closed. Friday, I'm going to a friend's house to do her daughter's computer because apparently that's part of when you know how to fix a computer, you're the one they call.
Can we address this, Christy? Christy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to address it or did you want to address it?
Well, I want to, I don't.
So to clarify, I was not scolding anyone or bashing anyone. I was expressing my feelings and my frustration. So if by me expressing my feelings and my frustration, you felt scolded and bashed, then I'm sorry, but those were my feelings. As I mentioned, they were valid. I was expressing very plainly what triggered me yesterday. That was not the intent.
But it wasn't.
Come on.
It wasn't just. It wasn't just one person.
No, it was not one person. I'm sorry that you're taking it so personally, but it is my feelings. And I'm not going to sit here and apologize for feeling what I feel. Just as much as you are allowed to be triggered, so am I. Continuing this to go on is not healthy.
At this point, because I don't want Rolling Stone to feel the way she's feeling.
Right.
I don't, and I desperately want to know what to do to bring her out of. I don't want her to leave the meeting feeling the way she's feeling.
Agreed.
What do you need me to say to you? I guess because I was not calling you out. I was not bashing you. I was not scolding you. If I was going to scold somebody, I would call them up personally. I was expressing my feelings. I think what's going on here is you're just very triggered by me and my personality. And I'm sorry about that. And the reason I left yesterday, let me start here. The reason I left yesterday was because of you. Because it was so important to me that you stay here because you're only days sober. The reason I left was because it was more important to me that you be here and be on the meeting than for me to be here. And that's why I left, was so that you could continue to get the help that you needed.
She has apologized a bunch of times, and I would just like to know, do you accept an apology there?
I didn't see that, but yeah, yes.
I've seen the apologies and
I haven't been reading the chat. So if you've apologized, yes, I accept it. You don't have anything to apologize for, but I accept it. I mean, that's fine. There's nothing, no reason.
And Henny, did I somehow make you feel bad, Christy?
What?
Henny wants to know, did I somehow make you feel bad, Christy?
No, here's the thing. I don't want to rehash all of this. We were having a really good conversation. I dealt with all this in the beginning.
Well,
no one made me.
It's great for us to have a great conversation, but I don't want things to be left undone and unsaid.
What triggered me was how the situation was handled and the things that were said, and they triggered me personally. because I was going through so much and I did not feel validated and I didn't feel allowed to be heard. No one, there were a few things that were said that did trigger me, and I addressed those. But you know what? It is really not a big deal. Any apologies that were given to me is accepted. I'm sorry. This is just, I just get harsh, and I don't mean to, but see, this is the moment, right? Because right now I feel like I just want to shut down and get off of here.
Please don't. Please don't.
Because I said what I needed to say. No one needs to apologize to me. I don't want anyone to get off of here. And, but
I think, oh, it's up on the screen already. Sorry, I was looking too far down. But Mrs. said it great. We all need the space, really, right? We all can work through this. As long as we're willing to open communication, have open communication, with one another, then I think that, of course, we can make it through this. And Rolling Stone, honestly, I really want you to reach out to Carol to get my information after this, because personally, I looked at your numbers yesterday and I'm like, damn, you're good. You're doing good. I know it's fresh. I know it's new. But my own personal story, I'm 74 days now off alcohol. I'm 68 days off of hard drugs. And I'm 40 some odd days without weed. So I know what I was feeling right there in the beginning. And excuse me, I know that what I was going through was also hiding a lot of what I would have felt just trying to get sober. So I can relate in a way that might be a little bit beneficial to help her. Like I want her to feel welcome here as well. Yeah. And like I want Christine to be able to say how she feels as well. I want all of us to be able to say
what we're feeling and find a place of being feeling like this was a good meeting, So now I can't be helped here. No, I don't accept that. I do not accept that at all. I don't accept that.
That's not about what I said.
I don't feel that way at all. You are welcome. All are welcome. We just got to be able to work through whatever we got to work through for everybody to be able to listen to one another and feel heard and feel like, I want everybody to feel heard, and sometimes it may not be always possible, but I just can't go on with a happy-go-lucky conversation as long as somebody is not in a good place.
I am sorry if I made anybody feel triggered. I wasn't coming at any one person. Those were my feelings.
Okay.
Those were my feelings. And it's more important to me that Rolling Stone, early in her sobriety, be able to get help. And if I am hindering that, then as I said earlier, I would never want to trigger someone. So since I seem to be hindering that, I'm going to go ahead and hop off now. Okay? So, because I want her. No, listen, I want her to have a meeting, because I am not the one that's 3 days into this thing who's going to fall off the rails. That's not me.
Now,
if my face being here is causing someone to fail, that's not okay with me. It's not okay with me if me being here is going to trigger somebody, because that's never why I want to be here. This is what I mean when I say it's too much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But if she needs a meeting and she needs to be here to stay sober, and this is where she feels safe, then this is where she needs to be. 3 days in is not that long in, and it's before Christmas. And I didn't mean that to sound rude. I just meant it. If it comes down to one of us needing to leave, I will leave
I don't want anybody to leave.
because I don't want to be the
I
person.
want there to be a conversation because there's been a lot of talking at each other, but I'd like there to be some kind of
I don't know
way
what
to
to
be
say.
okay with each other because I want you here, Rolling Stone, and I want you here, Christy. I don't think anybody needs to leave here. There's no reason anybody needs to leave.
Exactly.
Well,
No
what
reason.
is it that I need? Because all I see is, she's attacked. I've apologized for that. I said a couple different times, that's not what that was. Those were my feelings. I don't know. Rolling Stone, what do you need me to tell you so that you don't feel attacked? Let me start there. What do I need to say to you? Because I don't know what to say to you because those are my feelings.
Okay, but right now I'm hearing defensiveness, and I think that if we can both get back up away from being defensive, that's a great place to start.
I also think that maybe even one-on-one conversations might be, not even one-on-one conversations, sorry, my brain just went silly there. I don't know how to make the chat is a little bit slower than we talk, right? So I don't know how to connect them sometimes when they're coming in. Like I see some of the comments coming in, and it's like, okay, was that sent? When was that sent? What was that? I'm trying to connect it all, and kind of difficult. But
Let me just say that. Rolling Stone, I never said I didn't want you here. I never said that you didn't belong here. I never said I didn't like you. I never said you were a bad person. I do think you belong here. I don't know you, so I can't, I don't not like you. I don't know what you need. I'm sorry if I made you feel attacked. I'm sorry. But I all you've said is just, I feel this way, I feel this way. Okay, well, what do you need from me then?
Yeah.
Tell me what you need.
Yeah.
Because all I see is I'm attacked, I was attacked, I'm attacked, I'm attacked, I'm attacked.
And says, I'm hopeful everyone can work through this. I don't want anyone to leave. Everyone is important here. And that's 100% the truth. That is the truth.
Yes.
Seventh Son says, I'm 71 days sober and I understand addiction is an individual struggle and must be accepted as such. It is. It is. Everybody that has ever gotten sober from anything comes off of that whole ride raw. Just pavement raspberry raw on the inside. There's no way to avoid it, and getting on the wagon, falling off the wagon, getting off the wagon. Eventually, if you want to be off the wagon, you have to go ahead and walk through that really, really tough, hard time. And it sucks. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to minimize it. It sucks. It does. And I thought we could kind of figure this out, and maybe we may not be able to do that today, but I want that.
Yeah. It may not be today, but that's another reason why I would like her to reach out to me personally. Feelings have been shared on both sides, Christine and hers, and I also want to make sure that I'm not trying to play devil's advocate in the middle of it, but it was essentially over my child, and I just want her to understand it was my personal thing that took me to that place. Just like it's Christine's personal things that were taking her to her place. And I just want to see what we can do to help Rolling Stone with her personal thing.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly what I was wanting to get to right there. That's it.
Yeah. Like I just want to see what we can do to help. I don't want her to go. I don't want Christine to go. I would really enjoy just understanding, because to be perfectly honest, I could learn something from her journey. She could learn something from somebody else's journey. And I know I've learned a lot from Christine and from Carol and from everybody in the chat that, you know, I hope that we can keep doing that. And just, even when the dark spaces come, let's just keep doing it, because this new form of communication, this ultra open communication and love and acceptance, it's going to come with bashing ahead sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
And it is to be expected. I really feel like it is to be expected. And we all just need to remember, it's our own personal things. I just realized my camera's all off. It's our own personal things. And let's just help each other through it. That's it.
You know, that's right. Misha, you're 100% right. We're building a tribe, not destroying it like most of us are used to. We're used to being everyone that's on high emotions here is used to being torn down.
Yeah.
And you know, there has to be a way that we express our feelings, you know, and everybody doesn't. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
You want a place where everybody has a place to express their feelings, but at the same time be willing to work through it, maybe?
Yeah. Be willing to work through it. That's what I want, is it to be worked through. And like I said, it may not happen today.
It may not happen today, and as much as I know I'm ADHD, something happens, it needs to be fixed. So I know that my brain goes through immediate, let's fix it, but I'm really learning through my very long battle right now that things are going to take time. Things might just need a little bit of space, even, you know, just for a moment.
Again?
Sorry?
Things might need a little bit of what again?
Like just a minute, you know, maybe post meeting, you know, for example, for me, yesterday it took me getting off of meeting to fully drop all of my levels of insecure that I was feeling. But those insecure feelings aren't because of the comment or because of you, Carol. They are because of the situation I left. My parenting was questioned 4-5 times a day. And that alone was where I went. I didn't think about you guys saying it. I was literally jumping back to the moment. And that was it. So nothing that happened here, it was me trying to process my own trauma. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
It took getting off of meeting, taking a nice hot shower, doing snuggle time, laying down. I was like, oh wait, my body and my brain know I'm okay now, but it just like, oh my God, because it's still so fresh. And even then, years later, it could possibly still happen. So,
what I would ask is, you know, that nobody try to prevent anybody from going down whatever road you're afraid they're going to go down. If it's a dark road, it's a dark road, and it's the road you're on.
Exactly.
And you're traveling it, and you're here because you need support. You know, and if we can bring each other into the light, then we've won. Nobody's lost, and nobody has to stay on a lost, dark, lonely road.
And I didn't think about this factor that Awakening even said here. This way, it doesn't have to be said publicly. This be said individually. This doesn't feel like public to me anymore. So it feels like just a little living room that we're all sitting in, all different backgrounds. But I mean, that's how it feels to me now. Yeah, that's all. We're
not going out to the wider world, and I'm actually really good with that.
Yeah. So again, I hope that she heard. You know, please reach out to Carol. I would like to I would like to message at least to say the things that I'm not able to share publicly yet, so that maybe she can understand where I came from. And I'm not
Right.
gonna. It's not to bash. It's just to explain my side, and I would love to hear her side because I would love to be able to help in some manner, or maybe I know somebody who's going to be able to help better in some manner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just want healing for everybody.
I apologize, Rolling Stone, that you have been feeling the way that you've been feeling. It's not what I wanted, and it's not what I was going for, and it never is going to be what I want or what I'll be going for. And my husband just brought me pizza, nice warm pizza. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll live. Carol just got
Of us and the people
Yeah.
that are in the chat.
If he comes in the studio, he can. Maybe if he's over. He sometimes might be the little peeping Tom in the window there. This is a built-on
Scared
room.
me. The first time that I didn't realize this was your husband out there, I saw somebody behind you, and I'm like, "Oh my God, somebody's staring in your window."
So he might be able to hear from there where he was just waving. But this used to be just a flat porch, and they closed it, and so that's the kitchen, and that was the outside kitchen window, and this used to be just be an open porch, and they closed it in and made it a screened-in porch, and then the owners, after the original owners, put in double pane windows to make it an actual room. So
Very cool.
So it was, okay, here we go. Sometimes in recovery, someone with long recoveries help, other times, younger times help to go through it together. That's true. That's true. When I was new to recovery, I was in rehab with a bunch of people in the same exact boat as me. Some of them had relapsed. Some of them were just trying to get it, trying to get sober, or, trying to get to where they weren't, in life, whatever drugs and alcohol led them in. We were all in the same boat. And I needed that at that time. I really did.
Oh, and welcome back, Rolling Stone. And I didn't really talk about stuff. I just want everybody to feel safe here.
I do
And
too.
if there's something that I can do to help someone make it through the day, you guys have helped me not feel so alone and just kind of make it through, especially evenings when I'm not feeling as great. I want to pass that on and help other people. And I want everyone to feel welcome.
Yeah.
It makes me smile to hear you say that we're helping. And it makes me happy to hear the constant flow of it's helping,
And all of you I couldn't stay away. Good. Just took a break, and I'm glad you did.
And like I said, it might have just been a minute.
I trust you to know the right call for yourself and what you need. And I'm thank you for saying that very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
When Ben says, when I was in recovery for codependency to the nth, I had an alcoholic friend that was my bestie who I relied on. Sweet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Christy, I want you to hear that we want you here just as much as the rest of us. We all have issues, whether addiction-based or not. We love you too, Missy.
Hope you hear that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope you can hear that, Christy. Ben, I wasn't trying to leave an address. YouTube strips out comments that use keywords pertaining to other social media platforms. They do that with anything that's a link, or it's weird.
Yep. Unless it's like the restream link and it's like, bye-bye.
Maybe the reason I couldn't understand the other day with me being a mod, I can leave that stuff so it doesn't make sense now. I don't know what that is, though. Anik Alexander.
So did you guys say
But
Rolling
we need to
Stone
kick. Maybe we can toilet paper some houses.
So sorry, Christine.
That takes me back to high school just a little. TPA people, TPA houses. I need that laugh. Thank you.
Oh, goodness. Sorry, I heard Christine say something there. Are you still there, sweetheart?
I said, did you say Rolling Stone was back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We just
then
needed
Rolling
a minute.
Stone, what is it that you need to hear from me so that you feel safe here? Just let me know so I can say it to you.
She just needed to take a break, and now she's back, and I hope in a better place. I just want us to be able to interact, you know, and if we don't talk, then we're going to avoid each other, and that's not helpful to anybody. It's not helpful to you. It's not helpful to me. It's not helpful to Rolling Stone. It's not helpful to anybody. And like it's just a messy thing, communicating and learning how to. It can be. God knows I've made a lot of messes trying. I
I'm
have.
still making messes. Still
Mhm.
making so many messes. Come on.
I am beginning to think that you do for the rest of your life. You never get completely good at
That's right. That's right.
anything, unfortunately, it feels like.
That's right. Stupid human tricks. That's what we're really good at.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
we're best at.
If it's
I mean,
possible,
it's
I
a
will
miracle
mess it up.
that we're able to do what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, and that more people have not felt hurt, or, you know, which that's not to say they haven't. They just haven't voiced it. I'm so glad you did, and I'm so glad you voiced what you needed to voice,
Yes,
Christy. And I
100%.
hope that everybody can kind of sleep on it and come to a place of, okay, I can see that, you know, really hear each other.
Well, I'm willing to apologize if she just tells me what she needs to hear.
The biggest hugs are coming out to everybody right now. Are you okay though right now, Christine?
Yes, you can. Let me get the link for you, honey. Yes, please do. Here we go. Come on, give me the little paste thing here. Here we go. We're all better together. It is true.
Yes.
It is true.
Can you go on? You want to say hi? Got your mask on. No. He's pushing to not wear his mask lately. I'm like, I'm not quite ready for that yet, sir.
You tell him hi.
Yeah. Rebecca just said hi. Hi. Hi.
Good to see ya. Good to hear ya.
He's like flailing around on the bed right now, so if my camera's moving, it's him. Oh, buddy. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Hold on.
Okay. Alrighty.
So, Christine, I see a comment here from Rolling Stone. Says, "Don't worry, Christine, it's all good," and says, "Sorry." I'm not. That
Yeah.
is.
That's kind of the sense that I got. I just wanted I wanted two people to be able to talk.
Yeah.
And just and just, you know, because we got to find a way to move forward. Does that make sense,
Awaken.
Christy?
All right, well, Rolling Stone, I'm glad you're doing good.
And Awaken, maybe try a different browser. It gave me that message too initially before I joined the first time. I was going to say, I can remote to your computer and help.
I can hack it for you.
Because that's part of my job. But
Oh yeah, that's my kid. My kid. He'll eventually pop in one day when you're here, then. But I try and have him wear those little Spider-Man masks. So just until things can kind of settle down publicly, you know, like more can be said, then I'm not too worried.
Well, if it helps any, Rolling Stone, I'm shaking a little bit too, and Christy's a little shaken. I can hear in her voice.
Yeah.
I just want us all to figure out a way to move forward from here. That's the only reason why I even brought it up, Christy.
I'm fine. It's fine. It's okay.
Okay. Okay.
I send everyone virtual hugs and support and peace and whatever you need.
Yeah. Nadine says, Christy, I still hear pain in your voice, and as do I. I'm sorry if I put you on the spot, Christy.
No, you guys are fine. Just please stop apologizing. There's no need to.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Maybe cute pat pictures to make us feel better.
Cute what picture? Cat pictures.
Cat pictures.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way I could help people smile a little. Just a
Well,
little.
I'd say you're doing a really good job.
Thank you. This is the first time I've ever done anything remotely like this.
Right
So
on.
it's a little unnerving.
Yeah,
I don't do YouTube. I mean, I watch, but
I get that.
thank
You're
you, Ben.
it's wonderful to have you here. Thank you. And Ben Turner says, good to see you. By the way, Rebecca.
Thank you. Christy said, and she challenged me to write it down, and I did actually. One of the previous, I don't make it every day, but to write down that I'm a good person and I want to leave the world a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because I do. I want to fix myself a little bit, and I want to leave the world better for other people.
Same.
Because I think it's tough, and I struggle with feeling alone, and I really don't want anybody else to feel that way. And if there's something if I can be a little silly and make someone smile, hello, I want to do it. I want to help other people.
Right on.
That's Rebecca.
And that's the whole reason I started this, is because I want to get better, and I want to leave the world a little bit better place than I might have found. I might have even, trashed it back in the day, and I don't want to do that anymore.
I said that we needed some big hugs, and he's just like, okay, I'll come on now.
Sorry, Carol, I interrupted.
It's fine. Wee Man's always a wonderful addition to the meeting.
Not without him allowing me to remote to his computer. I'm not a hacker.
Okay.
Sorry, Ben.
Yeah.
I know people who could do it, but I don't think they would because they're ethical. It won't just randomly. Yet. Yes, that's a good point.
So, Misha, are you still here? Are you still coming in? I want you in here. Misha, we need you. I really want you in here, honey.
Sorry, I'm trying to deal with a little web shooter and trying to get it on his arm. So there.
Because everybody, whoops, sorry. Because everybody needs to see a cat on the nip.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry. Just trying to lighten just a little bit.
Anik, I hope that one of us didn't accidentally hit the wrong button and put you on timeout. I hope I didn't. I hope nobody here did. I don't know what it looks like from the moderator's standpoint. Can you see if anybody has been put on timeout?
I'm gonna have to, once I get a computer, I can help with the moderating part and I can answer those questions. But right now, it's just the phone. Well, and web shooters across my face. Awesome.
That cat looks fluffy.
Yes, and she is. I just got her 2 months ago, and her previous owner knew she needed to lose weight, but I think didn't maybe have the energy to do it. And then, so yes, I've had her 2 months. I love her. I love her so much. And so yes, we've got a little bit of diet. She's food motivated. I'm not trying to create anxiety.
Yeah.
So just a little bit less food every couple of weeks to help her.
Yeah.
And lots of
there's
loves.
lots of it. Go ahead. I'm going to stop you.
I want to ask Steve to go check on the puppies. This is their third day out with the big dogs and the goats, and they've been kind of in the smaller pen with the chickens and mama. And so I put them out with because they're livestock guardians. I mean, they're that all day long, and that's where they're in their element, is being livestock guardians. And so 3 days, day 3 of the puppies being out with the mama goats and the big dogs.
Oh my goodness.
I would love to see pictures of your goats just because I find them adorable.
Yeah, mine are, I got to say, pretty cute. I'm pretty biased there. They're Nigerian dwarfs, very sweet, except to each other sometimes.
Wow.
When they're playing. No, I'm alpha female. No, I'm alpha female. No, I'm alpha female. No, me over here, I'm alpha female. They're not very nice to each other in those times, but other than that, they're very sweet. Let me, if nobody minds, let me go talk to Steve real quick and see if he'll go check on the puppies.
For sure.
Sure.
Yeah. So you said you got the cat 2 months ago?
2 months ago, yeah. Her mom has a daughter who's, and I don't know what maybe the correct term for it is, but a little developmentally challenged.
Okay.
And she was renting a house with one of her old business partners who's got a son who's the same way. And I suspect that there was something happened between the son and the 14-year-old daughter that shouldn't have. And so she moved immediately and couldn't bring the cat with her.
Okay.
She ended up finding a place that wouldn't allow cats. And so I took DJ. I mean, I wanted a cat anyway. But yeah.
Sorry to
So
take you again.
I got her on the 17th of October. She's a sweetheart.
I love the rescue feeling. I've had puppies, I've had kittens, but the feeling of a rescue is so completely different. And every single time it's like, you're as broken as I am and I'm taking you home. And that's exactly what I think every single time.
Yep. Yeah. I couldn't have anything other than pocket pets before. Okay. So I have had a hamster before. Ben just brought it up. I have had a couple of hamsters and I had pet rats way back, but they don't live very long. And so DJ she needs to lose a little bit of weight and she's got some anxiety. But we're working on that and she gets lots of love and she isn't good with new people that come even in. Even though she seemed to be a little bit better at her previous home, but that was before the move. So
I found that when I rescued the last cat, I called him Sir Wesley. It ended up taking him about 8 months to fully be okay coming out and around people. But then it was like he was a social butterfly and he got orange fur all over everybody's lap. So he's like a great Garfield. The giant sized domestic tabby, and it's just like, I need him. He looks like Garfield.
That's awesome. I love fur children. It's not like I don't mind snakes. I don't mind other pets, but I really love animals with fur. I don't know why, it just makes me really happy.
Snuggle.
I see. Oh.
Where's the chicken?
The last surviving of the little baby chickens that mamas had 2 new mamas that abandoned their babies, and I saw the hawk that got the rest of them.
Oh.
So
he's up there now.
now I know what got them for sure. Yeah, thinking about this one, Sam, after Grandpa Munster.
Yep.
Doesn't he look like little Grandpa Munster with his little spike? Look at
Oh.
mind the chicken butt, y'all.
I love it.
Well, let's just hope he doesn't make a mess.
Like
That may not
yesterday.
be overly attractive for you two.
Yeah, I want to get him in the box so that he can make a mess where he's supposed to.
So how long will you need to nurture him for? I've never had chickens before.
How long what?
Will you need to nurture him for until he's pretty much self-sufficient?
Well, I mean, I want him to be fully feathered out because it's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he doesn't have anybody to snuggle up against. So I'm just waiting for all those feathers to fully cover him. And even in cold weather, I may still have to bring him in some. I don't know.
Yeah. Is the barn heated at all?
Huh?
Is the barn heated at all?
No, it's insulated, but it's not heated.
Okay, but it's insulated. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like the animal heat will just like stay in there a little bit better then.
And I put all my young chickens inside of a stall, so that does help
Okay.
with keeping warm.
I just wanted to address Nadine. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Is there anything I can do, Christy? Did I mess up again?
No, you didn't mess up again. I'm fine.
Okay. Is there anything I can do?
You guys should probably check on Rolling Stone and make sure she's okay.
She's okay. Yeah, she's okay.
Well, that's good.
Okay.
I don't know if this needs to be heard, but Christine, I don't think you're too much. You needed to have a space to say things as well. And I want to make sure that at least you can hear it from, I can't speak for everybody because I'm not everybody, but at least for me, you're not too much. And you deserve this space just as much.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your words, but I don't feel that right now. But thank you for saying.
I'm sorry, Christy. I was trying to help and I may not have, and I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You know what? This is what trauma looks like.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like when you were abused for a decade and you feel like you cannot stand up for yourself, and then you do, and then it gets turned around into something you never meant it to be. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
So,
Done
this
it
is just trauma.
Rolling Stone's fine because she's a little traumatized by the chicken money shot. She's fine.
I think all of us to some level were traumatized. Just kidding.
Oh my God.
I love the chicken.
15 years ago, you couldn't have a conversation with me without hitting some trigger of some kind. I was a mess.
That's the thing is that I have not been triggered like this in a very long time. This isn't a common thing for me. I am usually the least triggered person, and I know how to manage my triggers, and I know what they are. And what this just shows me is that I need to do more internal work. And it shows me that who I am when I am frustrated is somebody that is not taken the way that I want to be. And so that's stuff I have to work on myself.
Okay.
And you can't see that if you don't mess up.
That's true. But no, I don't feel like anybody messed up is the thing. It just was a little messy. And that's going to happen. We're humans. We're messy.
Mhm. And I think maybe it might be hitting you a little bit also for the fact that you're not, as you said earlier, you're not the person who's talking about yourself too much, and you were opening up, you were being honest, and I'm sure that that wasn't easy in itself.
Right.
Yeah.
So that,
I'm very proud of you, actually, Christy, for that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Guys, an example for me, because the thing that we know, but we don't recognize sometimes is we're under attack in so many ways. And this is not Temple Haddish. We're under attack by our ants, our automatic negative thoughts.
Okay.
Yes.
Today, it took me forever to be able to get here. I'm having computer issues. In my head, I am panicking so hard because I feel like you guys think I'm just screwing y'all off, just playing games. I'm thinking all
No.
these horrible things, but I know that you don't think that. I
Yeah.
know you don't. But in
Yeah.
my head, my ants are telling me this. And so it makes me panic even more. So then
Yeah.
I'm messing stuff up because, if anything, I can do that, whenever I'm panicked, when I'm stressed. And so these ants are just here and they're horrible.
Yeah, they are. They're
That is a
brutal.
big thing of what's going on.
There's no mercy in any of it. Those
No.
ants.
No, and that is, I think every single one of us are suffering from it, whether we be an addict in the traditional way, in the non-traditional way, whatever. When we are born, we are given a particular set of skills, and it's up to us to find them.
Yeah.
And in those skills, there's these little things called ants.
Yeah.
We all have them.
That cause us to second guess ourselves constantly,
Mhm.
back and forth, maybe 5 different ways.
And society does another wonderful job of giving
Yeah.
us all kinds of self-confidence issues. And so then by the time that we get to be able to deal with our addictions, whatever they may be,
Yeah.
we are so conditioned and so confused and so lost that those are the things that we have to get to. That's what's going to help us with our recovery the most. These
Yeah.
things that we have that we don't know how to explain. We don't know how they got there.
Yeah.
There's a video that I posted yesterday of this. She's a counselor. She had a giant wastebasket sitting on the counter. It was completely filled to the point that everything was falling out of it, of just crumpled up pieces of paper. Okay. And every one of those are memories. Every one of those are things that have happened to us. And you take them when you're able to go to counseling, when you're able to get them out, when you're able to analyze them. You take them and you pull one at a time, not all of them. One at a time, you take them and you straighten them out. You look at them, you address them, you see what they are. You straighten them like an iron almost. And then you fold them up and you put them away. And by the time you're finished, every single one of those fits so perfect in that wastebasket. There's so much more capacity to bring more memories in.
Yeah.
And I think that we all need to do this. We all have the need, the desire, the necessity to do this.
Yeah.
This is a great social experiment, but it's one I want to hitch on and stay a hold of 100%. I love you guys.
I love you too.
Love you too.
Yeah. I love you, Christy.
I love you, Christy. I love,
Support
I almost want to do this, but then I go into my little issues.
I mean,
I want to go to every single one of you and say your names because every single one of you have touched me in some way. And I know that you've done the same with everyone else here. All of us have. That's family. That's a tribe.
and every single person, we belong here. We're going to have a road bump, but we belong here. We love
Yeah.
each other, and
Yeah.
we're going to be able to make it through.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And at a Rolling Stone, I have a really big tendency of saying that everybody leaves me. They don't, though. I have a tendency to walk away and to leave myself because I fear that.
Yeah.
Please don't leave us.
Yeah.
Because we need you too.
Yeah.
Well, I love you guys too, and I think part of the reason this is so hard is because I wondered for so long what I brought because I don't have the same issues. It's why I struggled fitting in with the lifeboat, and it's why I struggled here.
Okay.
And I question what I bring to a lot of things a lot of times. And this just went to the core of it and poured salt all over it. And I
Right.
know that's not what was meant.
No, no, not at
Um,
all. Not
I
at
I
all. No,
I
no, no.
I know that's not what was meant. And the only thing I keep hearing is the voice I fought so long and hard to shove down, to get past, that I was just too much. And I
You're
hear
not.
what you guys are saying. I hear that, but
Yeah.
it is not what I feel. There's a difference between hearing words
Right.
and
There
feeling the
is.
truth.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that. And I feel like I shared in my way my feelings, and all it did was cause a bigger problem.
No,
And
I don't think so. I don't
that's
think
not
so.
what I meant.
Okay.
And it's how I feel.
Okay. Okay.
And
But it's not it's not the reality. The reality is you bring a
I
lot,
know.
you know, that is that it applies to every single one of us.
And if I can just speak personally, Christine, if you were on this first screen that I did here, giving me the advice that you gave me, I would not be at the point that I am today.
Yeah.
And I really need you. I don't, I would love for you to feel that. And I know that
Yeah.
it might take some self work and processing to feel that, but it's the truth and it's my truth. And I really hope that you can hear it.
Yeah. I would not be
I
able to
can
do
hear.
this like it's being done without you, without what you bring. You know, there's so much more to recovery than just abstaining from a thing. And it doesn't matter what we're recovering from. Just walking away from the thing, the destructive thing, that's one tiny little step. Real recovery, whew, there's a lot.
Well, and with recovery comes being shown where you fall short and working on that. And, this has been so much more harder than I even have let on of what I've been going through.
Yeah. And maybe more than you were allowing yourself to see and feel, because you're having to uphold, two people that are in unimaginable crisis. I can't imagine being put in that position. I have not been. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to confess that. And it scares the bejeebers out of, you do of being wrong and saying the wrong thing and not doing the right thing. And, it's major.
It's traumatizing because if it's a scary thing.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a scary thing when it's people that you love.
Yeah.
And people don't come to me for little things.
That's true. I'm learning that.
Mm-hmm.
People come to me for really big things.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big weight too.
It
Yeah.
is a huge weight.
Yeah.
I just wish sometimes sometimes somebody would come to me with something little like, how do I bake these cookies? And I can be like, hell, I don't know. We should go get a cookbook. But you know, it's I understand that the reason that people come to me is because the things that they're coming to me about are things that I have been through myself.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many women I have helped successfully leave their narcissistic abusive relationships
Right on.
who are now in better places. And when I say things, I'm not saying things to make them up. That's stuff that I've been through.
And they're legitimate, and you're valid for your feelings as well.
Sorry about my
You
phone.
have a big, okay.
It's why I'm sorry. It's a little muffly on my end.
I was just saying, you've got a big load on you right now, and I don't want to say anything too much, so I'm trying to respect the confidence that you have found in me as well. You have a
And that
lot loaded onto you, and I'm grateful to be one of those people who's able to ask you for advice and ask you for help. And I really, when you need, please this message. Some of the things that you voiced as part of their situation, and some of the things that you've been through, I've been through now. And I can understand that the trauma is coming up,
Yeah.
and you need to be able to talk about it as well.
Yeah.
And if you can't say some certain things publicly because it is not your story to tell, that's okay. Maybe reach out personally, and I'm happy to be there if you need me.
Yeah.
well,
There's a
thank
term
you.
called
And
vicarious trauma, and I
is
think
what?
that all of us should look into it. I think that we should kind of delve into it. It's
I think
for
so.
people that are, for instance, firefighters or 911 operators.
Okay.
They are hearing other people's trauma, and that we hold on to trauma, whether it's ours, whether it's anybody's. We hold on to that. Our bodies
Yeah.
are really good at that.
Yeah.
And that is something that every one of us, even if we don't talk at all, we don't chat, we don't nothing, we just sit here and listen, we're all
Yeah.
taking that on. We're taking
Yeah.
on not only ours, but everybody else's too.
Yeah.
And especially we're very caring people, and so we're going to do it tenfold
Yeah.
because that's what we do, most of us, and so I really think that that's something that we might look into, me
Yeah.
personally, in ways, because I think that it would be helpful for all of us, because not only are we unleashing sometimes our trauma, but we're
Yeah.
sharing it, but we're also picking it up. And
Yeah.
Christy, I don't know of any superheroes in my mind that I was trying to think a list of them. I don't know of any of them that really wants to be superheroes to the point of they are.
That's
And you are a superhero. We are.
what I wanted to get around to with the recovery is that most people in recovery, they're in recovery because there's some kind of trauma there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody becomes an addict without something
No.
that has just got them to where they cannot function in life without anesthetizing in some kind of way, whether it's a behavior, whether it's a substance, and so you very much belong here, even though you're not you're not an addict in the way of drugs and alcohol. An addict is an addict because of the same things that you've been through. Same types of things, you know? I mean,
What is the type of therapy? Is there a name for it specifically?
It's just vicarious trauma is all. I haven't gone too far down it. I was just like, I've saved some stuff so I can go back and look at it.
Yeah.
I think it'd help us all. I really do. I think it will.
Okay.
I want to also say one more thing. At a Rolling Stone, I didn't feel like it whenever I was in my world either. But looking back and remembering the steps that it took to become even close to the thought of being able to step into recovery was one of the hardest things I've done several times.
Yeah.
And that, you don't feel like it at first, but my
Yeah.
God, you're wearing a cape too.
Yeah.
That is a
Real.
great
For
big
real.
step. And I'm proud of you.
Yeah. I am too. I am too. It's big. You know, and we're going to be feeling those feelings, and they are not pleasant.
No, but
They
you know what?
they're brutal. Their brutality just kind of knows no bounds.
Yeah. And I this is actually kind of funny. This is one of the things that I was going to come on and talk today, but I get sometimes more healing by not talking, just by listening to everybody. I had a really bad dream last night, and I don't have nightmares. I don't. It might be because I was talking about them yesterday, but I did. I had a really dream. It was just it involved me not being able to do certain things that I needed to, and it's coming up. It involved my oldest daughter, my grand princess,
Mm.
and it involved a million. And I'm sorry, y'all trigger, but I was an IV user,
Mm-hmm.
and I always knew when I was going, and that's why I was saying this part is, I always knew whenever I was doing better on something because I would have my dope dreams.
Oh,
We know
yeah.
that we're doing better in something if it gets harder and it hurts more.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's going to hurt, and that's why we get out of recovery, because it hurts.
Yeah.
We don't want to be in it because it hurts so bad to do this what we're doing.
Yeah.
But we've got to do it instead of doing it over and over again. It's like pulling the scab off, pulling the scab off, healing, pulling the scab off. You're eventually going to have a giant scar, but you're still going to want to pull it off. We've got to address it. We've got to look at these things that hurt us so badly.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
got to see what we can do about it. Not what happened, because we
Yeah.
can't do anything about that. But we can do something going forward.
That's right.
Make this pain do something good instead of making us run away from our lives.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love y'all.
I love you too.
I love you, Misha. And I just want to say, I don't ever want anyone to feel like they can't come to me. That's not it. And that's why I don't share a lot of what I go through, is because I know if I shared it, it would cause people to pause. And I don't want anyone to feel like they have to pause.
Well,
And
but I think every one of us could say the same, you know. God, if you knew this about me, it would cause you to pause. Well, I don't think that there's any of us that have room for pause.
yeah, I mean, I just don't want anyone to be like, oh, well, Christy could help me with this, but she's, she's busy. I'm never too busy for any of you. And I don't, I mean, if I don't know how best to help you, I will tell you that, and then I will put you in touch with someone who can, And I'm so proud of each and every one of you here, even Rolling Stone. Like, that is a big deal. 3 weeks ago, and stopped drinking 4 days ago, and lost power 2 days ago. I'm so sorry that you lost power. I'm not. Is that like a weather thing, or is that like another type of thing? Is there some way we can help you with that thing? If you're not having power, like, can we help in some way? And I'm proud of everybody here, and I'm
Yeah.
proud of how hard they work, and I'm proud of and I notice when people show up and don't show up, and
Yeah.
and I notice when things are going on. This has always just been a part of, you know, what I deal with, and dealing with human emotions is messy. Weather thing. Oh gosh, wow.
Good Lord. Wow.
Do you have heat?
Oh.
Like, where are you? Well, you don't have to answer that, but
Do you have a
I
way to stay
Careful,
warm?
there's
Rolling
ways
Stone?
that you can get yourself warm and that you can do without power. Um,
yeah.
but be careful because there's also ways that you can do that and you can not ever do anything else again. So, like the carbon dioxide, like being in a car, don't leave it in the garage, please, with it on. Don't start a fire in a tent inside the house. Dealt with that, had friends, yes. Um, but there's other ways, if you get with me, I do have a few ways that I can help you with that. I don't want to put a whole lot out here. But there are, please stay safe because that stinks bad.
Do you have a way to keep warm, a Rolling Stone? And if there's anything that we can do to help with that, please email me. I'm going to put my email address if there's anything that I can do to help you with that.
And Christine, I just want to make sure that I'm saying something that you had said. I'm going to let you know right now, with who I am, you're always going to get bombarded with stays of things.
You know what?
You're always going to get bombarded with stays of things. Because right now is that plateau we were talking about. Give it another 2 weeks, and I'm going to be way up here again.
Rolling Stone, do you have plenty of kerosene and wood and candles? I mean, do you need assistance getting more of those? Do the stores have more of those? Like if there's that many out?
Sometimes the stores run out of that stuff really fast in a situation like that.
Yeah.
So
Would Amazon be an option, like if we were able to?
So I could probably get hold of some stuff some butane or, something.
Neighbors are always great too, but it depends on the neighbors because people, places, and things. And so it could help having shared resources at the same time. That's horrible if you're surrounded by people that struggle like we do, because that can be started all over again.
Yeah.
You got this. You got it. You know what you're doing. You said it's Maine. You're used to it. So anything we can do.
This is Maine. It's okay. Wood stove, kerosene candles. This is Maine. It's normal. You are all sweet. Well, we don't want anybody to freeze to death. My God, no way.
Right.
Rolling Stone, I know what that's like. I live in the sticks of Kentucky and it takes me 45 minutes one way to get into town. So I get that. But I just want to make sure that you've got plenty of, kerosene or candles if there's anything that we need to send you. I mean, we could get together and do an Amazon order and send it to you, or just
totally.
Venmo you some money if you've got a way to get into town and you need more supplies. I mean, again, I don't know. Just want to make sure you have everything that you need. Did they say when it might come back on?
Sometimes they don't get ETAs for days in a big storm.
Yeah.
I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma one time, and it just so happened that our friends had a gas cooktop stove, and we were able to turn the oven on and open the door and keep warm. But we were just watching transformers blow up all around us in the city of Tulsa. It was crazy.
It gets scary.
I'm
Our
gonna
neighbors
have
cross
to take
the street,
off.
literally, the line's right there. So when we're out, they're not, and vice versa. So
I'm gonna have to take off here, guys. So Wheaton's starting to get a little munchy, and I'm about ready to have a snack. Well, you're starting to get a little crazy, so it definitely shows me that you need a snack, a shower, and food. I mean, bed. I said food twice because I'm that hungry. You want to come on and say good night, though? Yeah, he's already got his mask on.
Okay.
Hey.
Good night.
Night.
Oh.
And I don't know why I feel this need, but I feel the need to tell everyone you are enough.
Yes.
I don't know why I feel that need to say that, but you guys I needed to hear it for myself. I need to tell myself more often, but you guys are enough. You're doing great.
You're enough too, Rebecca.
Yeah. Just right.
You're enough.
The need to be on all the time, I think a lot of us deal with.
Yeah.
We don't have to.
Yeah.
Well, Rolling Stone, let's hope the old guys are right. The old guys who hang out at the dump. Hey, around here it's the guys that walk around with the sticks and the jugs. So they search for water with the sticks. It's
And they
really
probably find it better than most.
Like the
Yeah.
they
you mean like the
do.
little honing stick?
Yeah, it's like a forked stick, and they walk around, and then they have like a little jug when they find the place that the water is supposed to be. They start digging until the water starts springing up, and then they put the water in the jug and the lid on it, and then they take it in to get it tested to make sure it's okay. I don't know. Everybody swears by it out here. I'm like, okay. But
Did y'all hear that chicken giggle?
I did hear that.
yeah.
That chicken said, breathe.
That chicken's
I
adorable.
love it. Oh,
He
Well,
is,
no
Mikey is
more poopy days, though.
he is, I
Mikey
know.
is climbing. Why are you fighting water? It's a way that they search for water. I don't know how it works, but
I don't
goodness
either.
sake, it's weird. They say that the stick like moves a certain way if there's water underneath it. I mean, I don't argue with anybody, especially in rural Appalachia. I just don't think that's a very healthy thing to do. But Mikey is climbing up me. I think he needs to go out. He is just going nuts. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. Thank you everybody, and I hope that you all have a good night. I won't be back until Christmas Eve because tomorrow I've got a lot of stuff I've got to do, and then I've got a friends thing Friday night and a family thing on Saturday. So I will see you Christmas Eve if we're here.
Okay.
You know what? Have a great
Good
time.
one.
You'll be
Yeah.
missed.
Good time.
Send you hugs and support, dear.
Mwah.
The
Sarah, I had to
exotic
shut my mute up. I had to shut my mute up. I had to shut my mic off for a minute because you had me laughing so hard. I didn't want to be like, but that was funny.
it's,
And I thought that divining water was like an old wives' tale.
yeah,
It
I
didn't
was going
work.
to address that. Yeah, it's something they do with sticks, and they walk along with these sticks that are like wishboned together, kind of, and
Okay.
somehow or another, the sticks tell them where there's water to drill for a well. So that's what it's called, divining, not dividing.
That's why I was laughing because me and the way I think, I was like, so we divide each other up. Now we're dividing water. It was just, you had me cracking up, and it was just funny. Oh Lord. Oh y'all, it's been something.
Lord, you guys, how are we 5 days away from it? How's that possible? How'd this year fly by so fast?
Really, truly, I ask that every day.
I hope you have a great Christmas too, Rolling Stone, and everyone else that is here. Or happy holidays, whatever you believe in.
I was gonna say just a great day every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I needed this, even though it was hard and it was stressful, and I panic attacky because I realized the other day because a really good friend of mine asked me, "Why are you doing all this? Why do you put all that on your shoulders? Why do you do that?" And I realized I had an epiphany because all the stuff that I'm doing is trying to gather family because I've been trying to do that since day one.
Yeah.
Y'all are important in so many levels.
Yeah.
And it's probably just me making my whole need for the family thing. And it's one of those, but whatever it is, this is a good thing.
Yeah. We don't, we can have family that we just can't share certain things with. And so, in those situations, we get to make our own family that we can.
Yeah.
Where you can be completely honest and just let it all here that
And be ourselves and not worry about being ourselves, because that's important.
Right.
We shut ourselves up because especially with technology now, it's so easy to get lost in translation, everything we say. We don't
That's-
have the tools that we did before of being able to look at somebody, seeing their mannerisms, seeing their body language, seeing the way that, it could be just like what Sarah had said about the dividing. It could be something just like that. And somebody in their personal world hears that, and that's a trigger phrase for them. And it's not anything meant towards that person, but they're going to hear that. And it's just hard to get that out. And so we just, we're in this disposable world nowadays where we can just move on to a different channel, or we can, these different things. And we've just got to realize we're not channels.
That's right. We're people.
And we need to hold on to who we
God
say
glory.
Yeah.
And all our fragilities,
All our strengths and fragileness.
Mm-hmm. So, Henny, let me get this straight. When you say Christmas and New Year's will be on the boat, are you meaning on the boat, like we're like on camera on the boat?
Oh,
I'll be with family. You. Aw. Did y'all hear that?
Aw.
That's a happy chicken right there.
I like it.
Aw.
You let me film me too.
Same to you, 7.
Here in the U.S., let me see what that says. Here in the U.S., Christmas is a national holiday, so wish someone a Merry Christmas. So wish someone a happy or Merry Christmas is like wishing someone a happy 4th of July. Right on. Good night, Rolling Stone. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Yeah.
I haven't figured out a good way that to end these meetings, but I do want to see, is everybody good? Are there any twos of anybody needing a meeting, or is there a 3? Everybody feel like we've had a meeting? Do we have people that are still hurting? Are we better?
I still need one, but not today. I don't think. I think we're good on my end.
Okay.
But sometime soon, I'm really going to need a meeting within the next day or so.
Okay. Had a meeting is a 3. Okay.
Good evening, Cosmic.
Yes,
Well,
hi,
so good to see you. I've been worried. I was like, where's she at? It's day 2.
Yeah, we did miss you, Cosmic. Well, I feel like this was, as hard as it was, I feel like it was good.
Yeah.
I do. Because nobody's given up on anybody. That's not the norm in the society that we've created. And I think that's pretty remarkable. We're all still here.
And we're going to stay here.
Nobody's given up on anybody. I love that. Even if it's messy, I feel like that's the goal. That's what I want. For us to be able to work through differences, and work through the messy things, and still want to be here for each other. I love that. I needed that desperately in my life. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Carol Ripplemaker.
So anybody got any good ideas on a good way to wrap this thing up? Because I haven't come up with any yet.
I love the peace shawl that you do. I think that's adorbs.
The what?
The peace shawl. The way that you
peace shawl.
Peace shawl. Yep. Although you might need a pole dancing chicken like avatar or something now, because Ben.
Maybe I'm expecting to, like at the end of an AA meeting, everybody kind of joins hands and does some kind of prayer or something. But I don't know. I just, none of that seems to fit, and I can't do what Christy does with the meditation and all that. I don't have that yet because I can't meditate myself. I am squirrel.
Yeah.
Squirrel. That's me meditating.
I love you.
You do know that that's how a lot of people who meditate, that's how it is for them too.
So I think I'm beginning to hear.
But you know, you meditate anytime you put your attention on something.
Yeah.
Reality.
Yeah.
So I hyper meditate then. Ooh.
Yeah. Just, 2 seconds, 30 times every minute isn't great meditation. That's what I tend to do. 30 things for 2 seconds every minute. But,
Yeah, that's a good point too. I do both of those. It's really a weird little. It drives me crazy.
but Lordy, anybody who can, I'm proud of them, because it takes a lot to unfocus the mind, because we feel like the mind is what we are. And I kind of have maybe some experience, maybe just a belief, but there's a part of us that witnesses our body and our mind, and witnesses both of them functioning. You can set back from a very active, almost anxiety-laden mind and still witness yourself experiencing this anxiety and this focus while you're having. Maybe the mind can multitask. Maybe it's just a CPU with a very, powerful logarithm. But I really think that something powers the mind, that some part of us is not part of time and space, but the mind and the body
say that's disassociation.
Definitely a part of time and space.
But I think one of these days we're going to have to, somehow, we're going to have to all get together and do the tinfoil hat talk, because Steve, you talk in my language sometimes.
For me, if you look up someone on YouTube that's named Ishwar Puri, he died December 23rd, 2020. He was 94, almost 95 years old. He gives a lot of good talks on meditation and spirituality. And it's very practical, because at 90 years old, 93, 4, 85, some of his first talks are 10 or 12 years ago.
So you're going to have to give me a different name, because that one's hard to spell.
Oh, Ishwar.
The last name, though.
Puri.
He's really sweet and very unassuming and very gentle.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep, going to be doing that after this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He went to Australia a couple times to give talks. I don't know where. Probably Sydney, but I think elsewhere too. Yeah, I met him one time in 2012 when he came to visit some people in Arkansas.
That's cool. Well, that's how I do my meditation. I think sometimes I do my research and I do my deep dives. That's how I get good meditation. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I just think about meditation and then never really succeed at it. When I do, it used to come a lot easier before I knew what it was.
There's something to that.
Experiences and some of the potential to focus with results, long before I knew how to define it, were happening. Then as you grow up and you become an adult, those things get hard all of a sudden.
Yeah.
When they were gifts when you were younger.
That is exactly it.
Y'all want a chicken?
The screensaver chicks. I love it.
I don't think they'd let me have that in the apartment. Well, maybe I could say it's an emotional support animal.
Yes, it is an emotional support animal.
They do make on Etsy. There are people who make diapers for chickens. To get a diaper chicken, but I don't know about that.
I don't want no house chicken. I like cats, but I like barn cats.
I'm allergic, so I can't have cats.
I'm a little allergic too, but I still have a cat.
Our cats live outside. They'll sneak in and they want to leave in just a few minutes.
They live outside, but they've got a wonderful little shop with a wood stove that we often fire up for them out there, and they've got a whole barn that they
They don't have it rough.
Yeah, they don't. They're about as close to a house cat being outdoors as I've ever seen.
If I go in the barn when the tomcat's on his prowl, he's like, "Hey man, you're in my space." He just kind of mews at me till I leave because he's obviously after something, probably a mouse or something, and I've ruined it for him.
Yep. Interrupted his hyper focus.
I did.
I love y'all.
I love you too.
I did a bunch of stuff.
It is Anik.
Okay, seventh son, I need to know. Not enough to eat at this time. So, are you talking about my chicken, or are you talking about you are actually struggling with not enough to eat? No cats, Misha. That is tragic.
It is. I tried once, ended up in the emergency room.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Well, she was polydactyl. She had 7 toes, and so I think there's something to that because I found out she was pregnant. She started getting me really, really like bad.
A cat with 7 toes is a good mouser.
She was a good kitty cat, period. I loved her so much.
My friend had a cat with 8 toes. Its name was Midnight.
Oh my goodness. That's
Should've
a lot
been
of toes to have on your feet.
But that's like a baseball mitt. That thing could really catch the mice.
I bet.
Okay, I get it, seventh son. The chicken is too small to eat.
It would take a lot of little chickens that size.
That is some chicken, isn't it?
And that poor hawk that got all its brothers and sisters, they were not even a bite each. You had to come back every day for another bite.
Oh, maybe one taco, Ben says.
That's it. A very meager chicken soft taco.
Covered that baby's ears. You don't need to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
She loves us anyways.
I think it's a he. I think the feathers are too
Yeah.
decorative to be a female. Yeah, with chickens, I've noticed, at least with my chickens, the plainer the feathers are, like all one color kind, those tend to be the ones that turn into the hens. These guys, this colorful guy, I'm pretty sure it's a rooster.
And Christy just put in the chat that if you put the link in, I'll come back and do a meditation.
Okay.
Hey, sweet.
Well, that'll be fantastic.
And we need to save the chicken. No tacos.
No chicken tacos, y'all. No. The hot.
I want to cut on the chicken.
Pretty baby, soft baby, little ball of feathers.
Yes. I have a t-shirt that says that related to fabric.
I was actually it was cool to hear you say that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm a texter gal. Food or clothes or main time.
Yep.
So I'd never heard it said that way, and I really appreciate that.
Is fed and
on the fabric, I'm struggling. One of my friends has offered to help, but she's very judgmental about my fabric collection.
Oh, okay.
And about how much I have. And so I'll probably be doing my organizing myself.
Maybe we can go on that together.
Hold on. Let me get off camera. Hold on.
Issue 2.
That would be
I have an issue. We are flippers, and my husband has more of a hoarding tendency than I do. And I say that, but then he says I have more of a tendency than he does, and so it kind of works together in a bad way. So we got to do something. We got to do something soon because I'm like a victim of my own boxes.
I love
Did I get it all? Do I look like Alice Cooper still? Did I get it all?
Oh my gosh, you look gorgeous.
You look fine.
You look gorgeous. What are you?
I got on the camera and I didn't realize my mascara from where I was crying had ran all the way down, and it was like, wow.
Well, you're
like,
little.
No.
You're little on the screen. I can't see anything.
Oh, well, good, because I sure seen it when I
don't
put that
see it.
up. Like, okay, well, I think
I've got a 27-inch monitor. You're fine.
I have to take Mikey outside and let Sweetie out. I forgot to turn her light on before I came in here because she's to the point she'll chew everything up. And so I can't just leave her because she almost chewed up my I have a guitar pedal and I've got a cord that goes to it and she almost chewed it up. The thing is, it's a 1980s pedal. So you can't even, because I got it for when I was playing Nirvana and all of that little grungy stuff, so it sounded good. But you have to get like the certain adapter to it and everything. And she almost chewed it up and I was like, not my guitar pedal. I was like, you can't get, I mean, it was one of those, Michael was like, you paid how much for that? And I'm like, you want a happy wife, right? Can you put a price on happiness? We can't put a price on happiness. And he was like, I'm pretty sure we can. And I'm like, nah, we can't, no. So anyway, I forgot to turn the light on in her room. And so I turned it on and let the dogs out. And so now I can see them and everyth's put up. So I wanted to, Seventh, that's really, you're so kind.
They want to know that if you play guitar.
I do play guitar. I have a, it's going to be my Christmas present, but it's a 1959 replica Les Paul that I'm going to be picking up from the guitar store. And then I've got a D'Angelico that I play, and I have a Reverend that I'm currently trying to sell. It has only been played like maybe 12 hours. That's it. And it's got a case and everything. But it's too big. I'm so small. I need one of those guitars that are shaped more like that than as opposed to like the big bulky one.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's what I play.
Cool.
Oh, Cosmic! I'm glad my housemate came on with me. We just meet. Yes, we have been missing each other.
Yeah.
Let's see. Zelda, hello. I just needed to kind of be off camera for a little while. I wasn't looking at anybody's comments or anything, so I'm sorry if I missed anything.
Don't apologize for taking care of you.
Well, I just did I miss anybody's Anique, thank you. An exotic dancing chicken?
Yes.
Okay.
We got the chicken sat on the top of the computer and all you could see, you couldn't even see my face. All you could see was chicken butt. So we had a money shot moment.
Rolling Stone. I'm glad we're good. Let's see. Henny, okay, I think that, okay, let's see, what were you asking? You phase your distortion or distort your phaser? You know what? I'm going to be real honest with you. This is what I do. I have the most amazing guitar guys. I go in and I say, this is what I want to play. What do I need? And they say, here. And I say, here is my credit card. Thank you. Then I go walk around. This is how I pick out my guitars. I go walk around and I'm like, that's pretty. And the thing is, everything I've picked out, they're like, do you even have a clue what you're buying? And I'm like, no, but it's pretty. And so then they go through and they explain it to me, or like I'll send pictures to my uncle and they're just like, you just by happenstance pick the best things. And I'm like, no, I just picked the ones with the pretty colors, but okay, we're gonna go with I'm a guitar aficionado undercover, and I don't know. I'm just like, that's pretty. that's how but it's really cool because I was, like Nirvana is my favorite band, and so I was trying to learn how to play all this stuff, and it wasn't sounding right. And I couldn't figure it out. I knew it wasn't my guitar. I knew it wasn't me. So then when I got this pedal, I was, they're like, well, this is the one you really need because this is the one that like Kurt would have had, and I'm like, sold. You just stop right there. Like, I don't need any more information other than that. So, but so yes, well, thank you everybody for just letting me kind of talk it through.
Right
You know, I appreciate it. I'm glad everything's good. I will truly though, I don't know that I will be on tomorrow. I will try. I've got a lot of stuff I've got to get done. But
Okay.
then Friday and Saturday I definitely won't be. But I'm hoping to be back for Christmas Eve if you're doing something, or Christmas Day, or whatever that looks like.
As far as I know, it may be modified some kind of way. I don't know. I'm still waiting to kind of. I want to. And I don't really have like big holiday plans, so there's really no reason I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't either. Michael's not going to be home now until mid-January.
Okay.
So I just found that out about 3 or 4 days ago, that the job was so sideways that he's not going to be able to be home until mid-January. So yeah, it was supposed to be it was supposed to be the end of this month, but then Turner, I will be flinging burgers on myself. Put some paper up on the wall before you do that, so you don't have to scrub too hard. And yeah, it is kind of a bummer. But you know what? Honestly, I'm used to it because of the 12 months of the year. He's only home about a total of a month, usually about a week or so at a time, a couple of days. So when he comes home, I tend to just kind of go radio silent and focus on him. Last year, he did not come home for Christmas until March. So he's like, I want you to leave the Christmas decorations up until I get home, because he loves Christmas. And so I put them up around Thanksgiving, and I had them up until March. And I was like, you've got to come home or I have to take these down. So the longest I ever went without seeing him was 9 months.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, and I was like, okay, you know, it's your birthday. He was in Seattle at the time. Well, he was actually outside of Seattle, but I flew into Seattle, which is my favorite place because obvious reasons. And I'm like, let's go to Forks, which, if you guys know Forks, of course, that's the whole Twilight thing. If you had kids when that was all going on. So we actually stayed at the house that was the Collins house in the books that was described there. It's a B&B, so we stayed there. And so that was kind of cool. And it is kind of hard, but you know, I'm a pretty independent person, so being alone works for me because I can kind of do whatever. And because he's ex-military, he's very meticulous. So if I don't do the dishes for a day, I'm not gonna have somebody like, you know, I just kind of do whatever, and then I just kind of clean it all up before he gets home, and I don't really ask permission. I just ask for forgiveness. So I'm like, oh
Yeah, that's kind of how my marriage runs. But I mean,
yeah.
I was 45, he was 41 when we got married. So I mean, nobody was telling me nothing. And
Yeah, I mean, and he's great about it, you know, and I just go out and buy what I want and then put it away, and he kind of comes home and he's like, did you have this many shoes when I left? Well, of course I did, which you don't pay attention to anything, you know. Did you have this many purses? I'm pretty sure you didn't. I'm like, no, it's fine. But, you know, then he spends money on his vet. That's where his stuff goes. So we kind of don't say anything to each other. Whatever it is. Yeah, you know, we're both pretty independent people. It works. I mean, we talk a lot during the day, so and there's just a lot of trust there. So I don't know, it works for us. A lot of people think that we're crazy, but you know, you get together too much too, and then you're kind of like, do I really want to, you know, like live with you for the rest of my life? Maybe like, can we get separate tour bus homes and just you drive one and I'll drive one? Yeah, I mean, we are pretty happily married. You know, we have the same things as everybody, but I think having our freedom is pretty good. But you know, again, we lived like in a little hotel room next to each other, or a tent, for 7 years. So we had that really close time, and now I'm like, okay, you know what? Just go over there. You're good.
I've
You know?
always thought having a duplex was a good idea.
Yeah.
for relationship.
It would be a good idea in our situation.
I love my autonomy. There's
Yeah.
kind of also fear of commitment and giving up of myself, which is trauma response.
Right.
But yeah, there's still I like my space.
Too. And I like to be able to make my space as messy as I like it and not have anybody look at me.
Yep.
Or, he says this in the most loving way because, like, really, I do only get dressed up for this or to go into town. Other than that, and he'll look at me sometimes and be like, "Are you gonna do anything with yourself?" I'm like, "Hey, I took a shower 2 days ago. Leave me alone. We're good." Not that he
Welcome,
expects me
Mischief.
to look a certain way,
Yes.
but. Mischief, hello.
Yes.
Mischief, I did want to say, if you ever want to reach out to me, you can. I know you kind of missed this, but I seen in the thing yesterday. My son is also disconnected from me and has been for 5 years, and I can't get an answer from him either. So if you ever need to reach out to someone, you can reach out to me and talk to me about that. What I have found helps me is I just reach out to him every month, once a month, and I send him a text message to him, not through anybody. I tried communicating through other people and it didn't really work. So I just sent him a message every month, once a month, that just says, "Hey, sweetie, it's mom. I love you. I'm proud of you. I'm here. If if you want to explain to me, what's going on, I'll be happy to answer any questions, And I just do that every month, and I just think that it's me showing him that I care and allowing him to take the time that he needs to come around. He may never come around. It's been 5 years and he hasn't yet, but I hold out hope. And I try not to, my two other daughters talk to him. And the only thing that I do ever is just, is he okay? Like, I mean, he's got a good job and everything, but like, is he doing okay? Does he need anything? Is he fine? And I've made it because I don't want to put them in the middle of that either. Um, I'm still hopeful that he does that. I call him on his birthday and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and so I just want to encourage you to don't, maybe he's waiting for you to reach out, and if he's waiting for you to reach out and you're scared to reach out, then I just wanted to encourage you that there's a lot more of that happens than you think, and I don't even know what this is about. Like, I mean, I really don't. On my end, I don't know why. So I just kind of went with the, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and no one can say I didn't try. He's always got my number, and whether he reads the text messages or listens to the voicemails, I don't know. But I know I did it, and for me, that's enough because I'm trying, and I
Yeah.
hope that's help helpful. Um, oh, you're blocked on everything?
Hmm?
Oh my goodness,
What?
Mischief. She says, I'm blocked on everything.
Oh.
Oh no. Well, I'm sorry.
I am too.
Um, you know, just know that I started, sending out good vibes for you last night, and I'm gonna keep doing that. And you know, who knows why our children do the things that we do, but there's no greater pain, I think, than a child disconnecting from you and not really either saying, and this is what I told my son, like, I would rather you just say, "If you never, ever, ever come back," or "This is it," or "Let's talk about it," but just not getting a response at all is really hard because you don't know what that is. Um, I'm gonna talk to him about that if I get a chance. Mischief, I don't really pray like traditional people pray, but I will light some candles for you and I will send out, good vibes and connection thoughts and you know, um I'm sorry that you're there and I know how that feels. And that's really crappy. My son's not on anything either. He's not on Facebook. He's not on Instagram. He's not on Snapchat. I couldn't even. I could stand next to him in the store, and honestly, I wouldn't know. I mean, I could figure it out, but it might take me a minute. So You know,
Oh,
it's a difficult place to be. And he and I were actually close. We were really close. Um, oh, that's wonderful. A letter would be great, and it might make you feel
yeah.
better. You know, um, that that would be awesome. And you know,
Yes.
I just want you to know that, you know, I think how hard you've worked on yourself and everything that you've done to make yourself better is amazing. And I know that there was a lot behind it that maybe wasn't always so great, but you know, we can't undo that. You don't get to go back and undo your choices, and you don't get to go back and fix it. And the only thing we can do is just go forward. And so I would hope that you would get the opportunity to build the relationship with your son that you've always wanted and that you both deserve and should have. And I hope that you don't hold it too close in your heart for anything you might have done in the past, because I just hope you have a better opportunity for a brighter future.
Yeah.
I hope, you know, but
Yeah.
hopefully you'll get to see him. Let's hope you can see him and like shove it in his pocket or something, you know? That would be amazing. That would be
Would.
amazing.
Would.
Um, I think I've seen anybody, Ben Turner, a pole dancing chicken. Um, thank you, Mischief. I hope that one day he calls me. You know, maybe when my daughter, my well, she would be my youngest daughter, but she's my middle child, is going to have a wedding celebration. Her and her husband already got married, but they're going to do like a little celebration thing next year in September. And I know he'll be there. And I'm hoping that maybe, if nothing else, at that time,
Yeah.
you know, we'll be able to, I can at least hug him. Um, but you know, I'm gonna go, and even if he's not there yet, I'm just gonna ask that one of my girls like let me know, hey, is he gonna want to see me? Because if he's not, then you know, I can stay to the side. One thing I'm really good about me is I know my place, and if somebody doesn't want to see me, I'm pretty good at making sure I avoid the situation, you know, and I would never want to put him in that. So I'm hopeful that by next year, maybe. Um, but I don't know, you know, and if not, that's okay. That's okay, you know, everything in time. And, you know, I don't think time heals all wounds, but I think time softens the blow, and I think it softens his calluses.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping for. Um, yeah. And Rebecca, I just want to say, I'm so glad you popped on. It's been so
Yeah.
nice to see you, and you have brought so much positivity to this. And, you know, maybe we need to have a pole dancing chicken shirt now too. We're gonna have the turkey leg gang, and you can have a pole dancing chicken shirt, and
That's awesome.
we'll just have a bunch of random shirts that we just walk around town in and explain.
And
Why not?
fun people who don't know what we're talking about.
Right. um, so did we want to go ahead and do a meditation, or I think I seen cosmic in there too somewhere. Did we want to go ahead and do that, or just
Great.
Yeah.
okay? So what we're gonna do is we'll do some box breathing. So breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and then exhale until your lungs are completely empty. Dropping your shoulders down on the exhale. As you breathe in something positive, whether that's just the Christmas spirit or some mantra that you have. And as you exhale, try to exhale anything that that is no longer serving you. And let's do that 3 times, and then we'll do a little meditation. Keep your eyes closed, and then when I say whenever you're ready, open your eyes. You can open your eyes. So let's go ahead and get loose, and go ahead and close your eyes and drop into your heart space, whether that is putting your hand on your heart or imagining a little version of you walking into a room in your heart center, sitting down and enjoying all of the love. All right. Going to go ahead and do 3 box breaths. So go ahead and breathe in for a count of 4. Hold and exhale.
exhale. Make sure to let your shoulders drop and release all of the air in your lungs. And breathe in. Hold. And exhale. Last one, breathe in. Hold. And exhale. It's going to be a little bit different of a meditation. I want you to imagine yourself outside at night. I want you to picture the darkness around you and the big, bright full moon lighting everything up. Not too bright, but just enough to see where you're going. And I want you to imagine all of the stars shining through, and the whole Milky Way is on display. There's not a single cloud in the sky. And I want you to take 5 steps through the field that you're in to a little bench that's next to a beautiful pond that you can see the ripples of the water and the moonlight shining down. With each step, I want you to release something that is holding on to your heart and making you sad. It's going to take you 5 steps to get to that bench. Step 1. Step 2. Step 3. Feel your steps getting lighter and your breath not labored. Step 4. And finally, step 5. And I want you to sit down on this bench. And I want you to look out at the big bright moon, the stars, and the water and the pond that you're sitting next to. And no one can see you. And I want you to think of one thing that is really holding you back or that has hurt your heart. And as you think of it, I want you to focus all your energy on a star up in the sky. And now I want you to see that star fade, fall out of the sky like a shooting star. But instead of making a wish, the star is taking that thing that's making you feel alone and dejected and sad, and it's burning it up forever. When you open your eyes, I want you to see another beautiful star. The star is a golden hue, unlike any other star that's up in the sky. And I want you to make a wish on that star of what you would love to have the rest of the holiday season and the start of this next year be. And focus on that. And you will notice as this star falls from the sky, you see a beautiful cosmic tail behind it. This star is coming down to the earth to grant you your wish. And if you sat in the peaceful darkness with your eyes closed, you start to feel the warm sun rising from the night. You can feel the warm sunshine on your skin. You can see the sun sink and the sun rise, all of the beautiful colors of the sunset, of the sunrise, on a bright, new, beautiful day for you. So take a moment as that thing that is bothering you gets put to bed and the wish that you made starts to come true with the rising of the sun. When you are ready, open your eyes.
That was so good. Thank
I'm
you.
having a hard time because here's my husband. So with that, I will see you all in a few days. Have a good
Thanks,
night.
Christy. You too.
Yeah.
Love you.
Right. Good night, everyone. Peace. Peace out.
So, thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much.
And I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. You guys, y'all all hung in there with us and we made it. And we're all still here and it's amazing. And I love every one of you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this. I love you. And I hope to see you next meeting. And until then, Chicken and Butt and I say peace, y'all.